Welcome back for another session of the Fuzzy Bunny Brigade. Actually, Tomb of Annihilation, where some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
We're the sacrifices.
So,
You're fast, Jay.
as a recap from last session, the party was undergoing the decision-making process of whether to pursue further acquiring some of the stones needed for possibly entering the Tomb of Annihilation, and in turn had inadvertently, by their sheer existence, drawn the ire of Yuan Ti, which they were easily dispatched, and in the process of surveying the landscape and looking down at the palace of the city of Omu, they saw a much higher volume of snakes traveling to and from the palace, and unusually high volume for daytime. So they were deciding to avoid the nearest shrine, and actually caught a glimpse of an individual dodging into an alley that seemed to have an eye on them. Upon further investigation, they found out that you can animate caltrops, and they're kind of a bitch to fight.
My feet still hurt.
With Wally going down against caltrops without killing a single one.
Yeah. Let's rub that one in.
Yeah,
This
right.
led to the party pursuing
Thanks. Take that with no Vaseline.
the wizard that they were up against, which turned out to be a red wizard of the Thay. Subsequently getting banished by Kaziri, which led to an all-out assault on this red wizard, and he got turned into human goo due to Karos of magical and non-magical essence, and though, much to the party's ire, they did discover some magical items, which subsequently they were unable to investigate, thanks to making so much noise near the palace that they awarded themselves an encounter with multiple Yuan Ti, thus leading to even more Yuan Ti showing up, and their inevitable capture. Subsequently, once they had entered into the Fane of the Night Serpent, they were taken to an individual that they actually knew of before, called Fantaza, who introduced herself as a Night Speaker who was responsible for the party's capture due to finding the note that she had placed out there. They were given tasks, some completed more successfully than others by party members, almost vomit later, and some interesting encounters with denizens of the Fane. They were returned to their cells with Fantaza returning and, asking what they thought of the offer, and subsequently leaving the room before they could answer, giving the party more time to consider things while she continues to have her way with her new slave toys. And that is where we left off. Alright, so you guys are in a room, which I will give you the full description of this time. You hear muffled sobs and moans rising from 4 pits with circular iron grates covering them. A chain hooked to each grate stretches over a pulley bolted to the ceiling and coils around an iron winch set into a nearby wall. Iron manacles dangle from hooks on the south wall. To the north, a faintly glowing stone disc covers the floor of an otherwise empty alcove, and carved into the top of the disc is a serpentine symbol, where you guys are currently located. In these pits, the stench of sweat fills the humid air. You are chained to the wall of a dank, partially flooded pit. Other prisoners whimper nearby, lit by faint torchlight from the hole above. So, If you have nothing you would like to do, we can conclude this day and get on to the next one.
I'm gonna look down the hole.
You are currently in a hole.
I'm gonna look up that hole.
I'm gonna look
All
up.
right, you look up the hole and see an iron grate.
I'm wondering, if we had rolled better, would we have inevitably been captured?
Yes. It was a stark inevitability.
Hey, Betting, are you in one of these holes too?
Yeah.
Okay. I got an idea to get us out of here, and I read about this spell before in a book, and I cast Mage Hand, and I used it to knock on the top of my grate, and what happens?
You hear the cacophonous noise of banging an invisible magic hand on a metal grate.
Come on, work!
I start knocking.
Can I climb the wall and try picking the lock if I see one?
You are all technically chained to the wall at the moment. And you do not have any of your equipment for those of you who weren't here last week. So, lockpicks, survival gear, rope, weapons, armor, all of it is gone at the moment. You are in the undergarb of your armor.
But what if our character wasn't wearing anything underneath the armor?
Well, then you're butt-ass naked.
Good thing you're in a hole.
By yourself.
Which actually works really well for what's going to happen to Jay the next day.
That's what happens when you miss an episode.
Yeah. Look, man, that fight Amnesia just gets harder and harder every time I fall for it.
So, for those of you who were here last week and have knowledge of what your task was for the day, you are welcome to share it. For those of you who weren't, it was relatively inconsequential. It wasn't anything really of value at the moment. It was more just getting you guys acquainted with the tomb, or with the Fane of the Night Serpent.
Well, they asked us to do different tasks. And from what the conversation was after we got returned back to the cells, I learned that some of us went a little more easily into the request than others, the others being myself. Armed with the only weapon I had, which was expectoration, I gave myself a little bit of a hard time. Got bit by a hydra, which I spit on, and then was returned to my hole. So it could have gone better.
Aye, but it could have gone much worse.
True.
Yeah, you
Well,
could have missed.
Or Benny. Yeah.
Passages in my cell just to see if a high-ranking guy might have got thrown in here and try to hit a little escape route.
Okay, make a perception check of what you can see. Havlack, you gonna make a perception roll for me? See what you can see in your cell?
11. It's pitch black in here.
Well, luckily, thanks to the torchlight and dark vision, you do make out a body over across from you. It looks to be that of a young boy that you can tell, for the most part, seems to be weary but alive.
Oh,
Benning or Wally, would you care to share your experiences, or no?
I work in a stock room. I move crates and other such large goods. And I'm being managed, supervised by a giant talking snake. It's a little weird.
They had me clean up after animals, which I didn't think was that bad. They have a triceratops in there. I was hoping it was ours, but I don't think so. And don't eat the candy.
My one question for everybody else is, when they gave you a job, did they provide you clothes at all?
I'm wearing the same thing I come in here in.
Yeah, me too. I totally am.
So, as you guys find yourself, albeit to a drastically uncomfortable sleep, you do find rest, and any
Super
hit
drafty.
points or magic spells you may have lost in the endeavor are restored. The next day, you are woken up abruptly to the sounds of clattering chain and grinding, screeching metal as these grates are lifted from above your holes. You are unceremoniously lifted by the manacles around your wrists, up out of your holes, and placed on the ground. And a Yuan Ti comes up to you and directs each of you to an area that you do not know, you aren't familiar with. It is a different one from where you were the day before, unless you're one of the other guys who weren't here last week. So, Benning is going to get sent to this area with the task of mucking dinosaurs.
Is everybody else's screen black as well, or just mine?
Let me double check you. That better?
I must be totally lost.
You should have vision.
Does he have control of his
I
token?
don't know. Let's double check.
No, I don't got anything.
Yeah, he has control of it.
Zoom way out.
Has sight. All players see light. You don't admit light. Let me double check to make sure Fog of War is still off and all that bull.
Is what? Because really what I have is a gray screen with a black square in it.
Let's do this. Is that better?
I got a map.
Okay, we'll just do that then. That works. So, Benning, you are sent over here. Wally, you will be sent down here to the southwest in this area.
Oh my god.
Hey, we changed it out.
We are going... Yeah. We are going to send Cloggy to... Yeah, we'll go there. You're going to go down here. In this area. Kaziri gets to go to... Let me double check the place. You're going to have fun with this one.
I hope it's a tailor's shop.
Okay, you are going down here. We'll send Havelak to where he was before, just because it's a good one for him. Alright. So, we are going to start with Benning, because he is at the top there. So, you see before you, Benning, 4 pillars carved with serpent reliefs around the 20-foot high ceiling of this large room, in the middle of which is an 18-foot high statue of a coiled cobra facing north. Torches with green flames flicker on the walls, and the air reeks of dung. 2 wagons are parked in one corner, and a triceratops is confined to a metal pen in the other. To the west are a pair of dark alcoves, and to the south, a wide pillared hall. You come across a portly, surprisingly portly, pure-blood Yuan Ti. He introduces himself as Sokash, offers you a candy, and points to all of the feces and debris, and goes, clean.
Is it that in common?
Yes.
I'll take the piece of candy.
Okay.
Hopefully it helps with the smell.
Are you going to eat it?
Yeah.
Okay. As Wally had mentioned, the candy is horrible. It has this crystalline sugar kind of sweet, crunchy coating on the outside of it. But as you bite into it, this just putrid, vile, rotting goo just squirts into your mouth. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, that was unexpectedly unpleasant. Constitution?
Yep.
13.
All right. You turn green, and you see this kind of smile creep across Sokosh's face. Because he equates, for some reason, that color with you enjoying this candy, and just nods his head and walks away, and you just barely hold back this vomit just creeping up into your mouth.
I think I remember hearing someone say, "Don't eat the candy."
This smells really bad in here.
So, are you going to be spending your day cleaning and performing your duties, or other things? Would you like to investigate anything, learn anything, see what's going on?
Do I remember? Did Wally say anything about his day in the stables or whatever, the dung room?
Wally, did you say anything about your day in the stables or the dung room? That is your choice.
Just that I cleaned up after everything, and there were a lot of animals in there. And there seemed to be a lot of traffic.
Okay.
And don't eat the candy, which you didn't listen to.
I didn't listen to that part. I will do my job. Where does the dung go to, by the way? Like when I'm assuming I'm scooping it out of something and putting it into something to take it away.
Yeah. Basically, they are having you fill up one of the smaller wagons.
Okay.
And you are essentially filling it up, being escorted through the facility, through this lower area here, down at all the way across to where you end up seeing Cloggy over here.
Okay.
At 15. Through here to this river, and you are dumping the dung into.
Okay. And you said I'm being escorted during that?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole time you have at least one or two UONT with you.
Okay. I guess I'll be doing my job. I'm going to be paying attention to see if I feel any fresh air coming in anywhere other than the river area, to see if maybe there's other openings to the outside.
The only real place you have noticed fresh air coming from, and it's not the river at all, it has this kind of musty, moldy smell to it, is that pathway to the north of you. That seems to be the only real place you're noticing fresh air.
Okay, and do I notice anything particular about the activity or people that are in that area as I'm slowly scooping shit at a wizard's pace?
At a wizard's pace. You do notice that there is a large set of bronze doors at the far end that progressively have opened and closed if there are carts or large creatures coming through. There is a coiled serpent decorating the metal, and that there are 4-inch wide holes through the bottom of this bronze door that are allowing snakes to come in, which then turn into UONT.
Interesting.
Anything else you would like to do?
So, if I'm understanding correctly, our cells are to the northeast of the room that looks like snakes spitting blood into a tub.
Yeah.
So I go through that to the west, into that entrance area, to where the beasts of burden are kept, and I'm scooping shit there, and then taking that south through the pillared hallway, and then back east to the river. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to get a lay of the land as I'm doing that, so that's all I have as far as questions go.
All right, we shall do Wally next. All right, and Wally, you get to see before you. you see a large double door before you that one of the UNT opens for you. Inside, there are stacks of sturdy wooden crates, bundles of cloth, clay amphors litter the floor. There are numerous tables with goods sitting on them of different kinds. And in this room, sitting in a corner as you enter, is a giant awakened constrictor snake. It is just menacing, in its just sheer presence in this room because of how little space there really is. And it goes, I am Azimas, and I do not know you. What is your name? And it immediately greets the UNT escorting you by name. They roll their eyes and leave the room and shut the door behind you. They just don't want to deal with this thing.
Wally.
Nice to meet you, Wally. I need you to help organize this storeroom and catalog the new arrivals. And before you, you see your equipment, you see your friend's equipment, you see food and incense and, all these just different varied goods and just random items that are just kind of out of place. You're seeing crossbow bolts, you're seeing cloth, you're seeing bronze bars, you're seeing salts and spices and just anything and everything. And the snake is sitting there expectantly staring at you, seeing as it doesn't have hands.
Quite a collection you have here.
I am just the keeper of the goods. I catalog and distribute as needed.
How do you get this job?
I do not know. It does not make sense. But I shall regale you with my life's story. And it goes on this tirade for the entire day that you are there.
Is half of the story just him trying to figure out what day the story took place on?
The snake or Wally?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, this snake has no concept of time, but it tells about how long ago a druid encountered him in the jungle and cast an awakening spell on him. And it raised his intelligence and gave him the ability to speak common. And he served this druid dutifully for his time being. And then finally the druid succumbed to the hazards of the jungle of Chult. And, well, having no master anymore and no allegiance to anyone, it made its way through the jungles and eventually ended up in the city of Omu, where the UNT had made their home. And being such an oddity of nature, as it were, at that point, because it was no longer it wasn't a UNT, so it could not transform, but it was no longer a basal snake. They took it in, and they found that it had a knack for remembering things. And so they ended up throwing his happy ass in there and made him the keeper of the storeroom, mostly because he has this obnoxious habit of remembering everybody's name, and every time he sees them, he calls them by name. And that's all he does. Doesn't say hi or anything, just says their name.
So while I'm sort of working on all this, I want to... I guess, is all of our equipment, like, with everyone else's of our equipment?
No, it is kind of scattered throughout the room. You've noticed bits and pieces of your equipment here and there, but none of it is wholeheartedly together.
So I want to suggest, like, what if I took all the sort of adventuring equipment and weapons and put those in one section?
Okay, so you're taking your time, actively organizing the room, per se?
Yeah, but I want to do that in general, but specifically I want to try to get basically all of our stuff near itself and maybe in a,
As you are attempting to do this, every time you start moving something of yours away from the relative area of the similar equipment, he corrects you. And is keeping a very close eye on you.
Okay.
But
So,
what's up?
No, I think that's all I got.
Okay. So as your day comes to an end in there, you notice Ozzy slither over to one of the pieces of equipment that is yours per se now, but that you don't know what it is yet, because it's actually one of the pieces that you took off of the body of the Red Wizard, and it is this small leather pouch. And he hands it to you and says, "As a token of my gratitude for your duteous help, I want you to have this." And he drops the small leather pouch into your hands and says, "If anybody hassles you, come tell them to see Aziz."
Thank you. And I kind of give him a bow.
Okay, so your day comes to an end. You are returned to the room. We shall go on to Cloggy, who is put into 15. So, Cloggy, before you are introduced to a rickety wooden walkway threading around the walls of a deep pit. Foul odors waft up from below. Somewhere in the gloom beneath, you see thousands of snakes writhe. And a Yuan-Ti comes in, escorting what looked to be some very kind of anemic and just malnourished and weak-looking people. Different humanoids of different ethnicities and countries of origin and races, and orders you to throw them into the pit as they are no longer of use. Essentially, these are the sick and weak and dying.
All right. Assisting in culling the herd. I can do that.
And they are keeping an eye on you, but not as much as you would expect, seeing as, well, either you're going to run into a hall of Yuan, fall into the snake pit. Either way, you're going to die pretty fast. You do get numerous requests from these individuals that are still alive to spare them and save their lives and protect them. They can see that you are a warrior of at least some note based off of battle scars on your person, your just physical presence and raw strength that you have even without equipment. And they're begging you to save them. Do not throw them into this pit. And every time you throw these people into this pit, just snakes upon snakes upon snakes just swarm the bodies and begin biting them. And they're of varying size and coloration. From your experiences in the jungle, you can tell some of them are constrictors, some of them are venomous, and they are just having a field day being fed like this.
As I'm pushing them in, I look at them and then say, "You'll thank me later. This is a mercy killing." And I shove them off.
Okay. So, mind you, you occasionally see some of the Yuan-Ti that you saw the other day with the Hydra, and they stop and watch you for a minute, and you catch almost this glimmer in their eye, like they just had a brilliant idea, and then talk to each other in a language you don't understand, and then all you hear is Fanthaza, and then they get really kind of clammy and walk away really fast.
I ask them before they leave if they want to join these other poor individuals. I have no problem with that either.
They just look at you and go, "You are Fanthazas? We should not kill you." And they proceed to leave, and that is where your day is concluded. Jay he needs to execute the vision. All right, Havelak, we shall start your day. You got to go where you were before.
If you could backtrack just for a second, do I notice Benning taking the wagon load full of shit past where I'm standing by this pit?
Yes, you do. On numerous occasions, you see a beleaguered, sweaty, not used to physical labor wizard type, covered in shit, reeking to high hell, pushing a cart full of shit.
So do I notice him taking the cart down to the left full and bringing it back empty?
Yes.
Okay. Another thing, do I hear the snake that's talking to Wally? Can I hear anything of what they're saying, what their conversation is?
It's really hard to hear because there are heavy-set doors here and there. There is one by you, and these halls echo. They are made of carved stone and about 20 foot tall, and beyond normal cavernous echoes, you have all of these Yuan-Ti speaking, in their respective languages to each other, and it just makes this kind of cacophony of noise that is hard to hear anything beyond the immediate area.
Okay, so I'm an old guy in a restaurant. I get it.
Yeah.
What about Kaziri? Can I see him from where I am?
You occasionally can catch glimpses of Kaziri's naked ass walking around in this room.
I just shake.
I mean, he doesn't seem to be in any immediate danger, and it's just kind of humorous watching a naked Kaziri in the room he's in.
It's dangerous for me having to see his ass. That's all I'm saying.
So, safe to say you try to actively avoid that part.
For the record, whenever possible, you do see Kaziri going one hand over the nethers and one hand over the back version of the others. like he's trying to protect his shame.
Okay.
Why don't you just wrap your tail?
He forgot he had that.
No, that has to go up.
All right. So, anything else you'd like to do, Cloggy?
No. I'm done with my Inquisition.
All right. So, Havelak, you are brought to a room, and the air in here is moist and sticky. Natural light spills in from cracks in the ceiling, and mud coats the floor. Stone workbenches are laden with clay bottles of various shapes and sizes. Toadstools, snakeroot, and belladonna plants grow among the clutter, fed by water seeping from above. Standing near the plants is a hairless man with scaly skin and a bronze syringe. Lurking in the shadows around him are 5 slouching humans that reek of decay. Along the walls you see multiple humanoids chained up and coughing and wheezing.
Gas chamber here as well.
So, as you say that, the man holding the syringe walks up to you and introduces himself as Zopal, and that he is the, for lack of a better term, apothecary of the Yuan-Ti, and he is tasked with extracting poisons and generating new toxins for the use of the Yuan-Ti. And he is directing you to go to various plants of hazardous nature. With being a rogue type, you are relatively knowledgeable in these things, and you know they are to be handled with great care, and one misstep could cause immense pain or permanent damage. So, would you like to actively assist him? Would you like to try and sneak any of these hazardous materials out? Would you like to try and free anybody? Would you like to see what else exists in the general area?
Well, I'm always trying to find another angle, so if I have to help, I still might pocket some stuff. It's in my nature.
All right. Can I get you to make a nature check first? All right. You do make note of some of these that with the proper materials could easily be handled, but you aren't seeing any immediately in front of you. And as Zopal notices you eyeing these things and goes, you don't want to do that. That will hurt greatly. I have a different job for you. And he directs you to follow him with another slave that has been brought up. So he escorts you and this other individual south, down to 20 here, and you climb into a pair of boats. He then leads you over here. And as you guys disembark, he motions for you to wait a moment and sends the other slave forward. And as the slave moves forward, a green slime drops from the ceiling and envelops this individual, just completely covering their body, and you can see them writhing in agony and pain. And as this green slime is being fed, he motions for you to move around him and says that there are sorry, I'm losing my voice. Fungi, yellow mold specifically, that exist within this cavern, and he needs you to go recover some. And he gives you some vials and some gloves to go recover this yellow mold. And motions for you to go forward.
I don't know if I like this one. I'm kind of allergic to work.
With that, he just kind of holds up the syringe, looks at it, and looks at you real fast and says, "Make your choice."
I can hold my breath for a while. I'll take my chance with the milk.
So as you enter this, you see the passage widens into a cavern filled with fungi. Toadstools, puffballs, and other tuberous growths cover the walls and floor. Against the far wall, a malformed skeleton lies buried under a patch of buttery mold, a brass key hanging around its neck.
Well, okay. I'm going to use my sleight of hand and calm that key while I'm collecting the yellow mold while holding my breath in the hopes that the spores don't pop all over me when I get near it, like I think this is what yellow mold does.
Okay, I will need you to make a sleight of hand check.
It seems the luck I was having last time is not pertaining this time. I have a 9.
Okay. He goes, "No, do not touch that. That will kill you. Try some of the younger molds." And he motions to the wall to the left of the corpse.
To what?
To the left of the corpse where you were trying to palm that key.
Okay, so I guess I scrape it up. Something.
All right.
Hold my breath. Hope doesn't puff at me.
Can I get you to make another sleight of hand check?
Yes, switch dice. Got me a 23.
All right. With that, between holding your breath and noticing the slight breeze that occurs off of the river, you are able to deftly scrape some of this young mold into these vials for him and hurriedly get your way out of there and hand them to him. And he motions for you back to the boats and to return to the room whence you came. As you enter the room, he turns around, inserts a similar-looking brass key into the door, and locks it. And you are once again in the room of all of the different venoms, poisons, and just general hazardous material.
Am I alone?
No, you are with his 5 zombies, him, and the chained up prisoners that he is experimenting on. He is actively going around the room, picking up different vials, mixing them, placing them in his syringe, and then injecting them into different people and listening to their screams and documenting how they react.
So it's not going to be much of a conversation today, is it?
I just need your skills in handling fragile material. So he's actively directing you around the room to grab things and not touch things, and just using you as a pair of deft hands to minimize his risk. You're basically his bitch boy.
Yeah, I kind of bloody figured that one out. But, while I'm doing that, I'm always sleight of handing something. I'm going to play a little 3-card Monty with the guy.
All right. This will be your last sleight of hand check to try and steal something.
What kind of a thief? 8.
Okay, so you go to attempt to reach into one of these containers and pull out a piece of poison, or a piece of fungus that is possibly highly hazardous. And as you do, you manage to accidentally knock it against the side of its container, and I need you to make a Constitution saving.
14.
Okay.
Also, I have resistance against poisoning.
All right. So you feel these spores enter your lungs, and as they do, you start to cough and choke, and just this evil grin crosses his face as he knows what you just did and how is it going to affect you, and then a look of surprise as you aren't as affected as he was expecting. And you only take 6 points of poison damage. And with that, he beckons to the guards once more and says that he is done with you and directs you off for the day back to your chambers. All right, Kaziri. I put you in there. So, Kaziri, you are butt-ass naked and poked and prodded through this facility to a room that just reeks of iron as blood floods the chamber. Along one wall, a row of gore-filled pools sink into the floor. Bloody trails and bloody footprints run between the pools. You see numerous Yuan Ti in this room bathing, and they're motioning to you and directing to different implements of cleansing to come assist them with their daily cleaning process.
Well, wait. Hold on. I'm a little confused here. Can you help me out? Am I bathing you with the blood, or am I getting the blood off of you, or yes?
Come on, Geisha, do your job.
As you hear from the other room. So, you notice that there are 5 other slaves in this room, and they look at you expectantly and look at a sponge and then motion what to do. They are showing you to basically pick up this sponge and dip it in the pools of blood and begin cleaning the Yuan Ti.
What? Okay, first off, I missed orientation. Okay, so you're going to explain these to me instead of show me. I'm taking the sponge. I got it. Is blood going into the sponge to clean, or am I removing the blood from somewhere else?
All right. So, can I get you to make
A confusion check.
one of the... Actually, I'll hold off on this for a minute. One of the slaves goes, "You are to clean them with the blood."
Okay, I'm glad I'm naked for this, because that's going to get all over my clothes, and that's going to be impossible to get out.
So, throughout the day, this room is just reeks of that iron blood. You can taste it in your mouth. It's in the air. It's getting in your hair, and it is warm. It is a warm room. This is not cold blood. It's almost like it's fed by some kind of tectonic volcanic activity from below. So it is a warm room to be in and of itself. So you are a little bit grateful for not having clothes.
This is a fucking metal room, okay, guys?
But you're also having to scrub the genitalia of snake people. And some of them seem to take great satisfaction in making you do it over and over and over.
This is degrading. Ugh.
So, as as your day goes on, I
Get
want
a
you to
job,
make
Dad said. Well, I got a job now.
I want you to make a perception check.
Oh no. +1. 6.
So luckily this one isn't that hard because of the malice you harbor towards this individual. His visage is burned into your memory. The individual from Bed Bath & Beyond shows up. You notice that his skin is not that of a human. It is covered in patches of green and blue scales.
Rude.
And when he sees you, just this devious grin crawls across his face. And he just points.
I'm pointing
And
right
then
back at him.
beckons with a finger.
Oh, hello there. How may I help you today in the blood sauna?
Make sure you get it in his ears so he gets swimmer's ear from the blood.
Oh, I have many things for you to do.
It is my job to serve. How may I help you today?
And he spends an exorbitant amount of time in this room with you, just making you cover every crease and crevice and orifice. And then he says he's not satisfied and makes you do it again and again. And you spend the rest of the day with this one individual as you see multiple UNT coming in and out of this room. And it's almost like they're watching this degrading spectacle with great humor.
Don't worry, this blood does not make you look fat at all. It's your incredibly large hindquarters that do that.
With that, you feel a swift crack across the back of your head as he basically backhands you, and you suffer 1 point of bludgeoning damage just to get his point across.
Oh, I could do this 63 more times.
And he just looks at you and goes, "Oh, don't tempt me." So that marks the conclusion of your day. Now, as the day comes to a close, you are all led back, and you progressively meet up as you are exiting these rooms. So you see Kaziri come out of this room just looking mildly horrified and really pissed off, meeting up with Cloggy, who's, just finished tossing a corpse into the hole. As you guys are escorted down the hall, you meet up with a little puffy Havilac just from being around all of the chemicals, thus leading to Wally, who is carrying this small leather pouch, and finally to Benning, who is just caked in sweat and shit and just looks like a drowned rat. So as you all are led, that room that you have passed through multiple times that you have noticed before has an altar. And you make note, a blood-stained altar stands in the middle of this room. It has shackles bolted to its top and niches carved into its. Housed in each niche is a huge grooves run down the altar to gutters on the floor, allowing spilled blood to drain into the wall. Clay urns overflow with wet bones and gore. There you see Fenthaza, surrounded by 3 other priests, and you see multiple individuals chained to this altar, one at each corner, and they begin ritualistically carving these individuals apart. They are finding main arteries and slitting them and draining them of their blood. As this is going on, you are just hearing horrible, horrible screams of pain and suffering, and they seem to be getting great satisfaction out of causing as much pain as possible to these individuals. They are literally flaying them alive as they are there. And instead of escorting you through to your normal chambers and chaining you up and throwing you in your damp, soggy pits, it's almost as if they were instructed to make you watch, and you are all forced for the next hour or so to watch as individuals are paraded in this room, chained to this altar, and just flayed alive.
Yeah, when I heard Union break, this is not what I had in mind.
So, as this is going on, finally one of the makes Wally is carrying and goes, That is not yours. Give it to me.
No, this was given to me by Aziz.
And you just see him just get this piercing gaze at you and just shakes his head and then proceeds to shove you and your compatriots chained together out of the room into the
Into
and
the
you
what,
guys
sorry?
into the next room over where you're being held, and proceeds to once again hook onto your manacles, drop you into your holes, and chain you up. And that is where your individual days have concluded. You are all, for a change, put into the same pit.
I spend any conversation turned away from everybody else.
So we'll move you all back to your respective area.
To eat?
You are brought meager amounts of food. It looks like a kind of stew that has been slightly overcooked. You're brought some bread, just enough to really sustain you.
Here, where'd you set?
You are brought essentially a stew and some bread that is just barely enough to sustain you and keep you alive. But you are all in the same pit, and while you are eating, you aren't chained to the walls in this pit. So you are free to move around, you're free to talk to each other, you're free to investigate the pit that you are put in.
I took off my coat.
Hey,
I knew I was working with shit today, so I took off my coat, and the Tyrannosaurus pooped on it.
so you remember that one time when I went to Bed Bath & Beyond and I came out inconsolably pissed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy came here today. And then he made me bathe him in blood, and it was kind of fucking metal, and it was kind of fucking terrible at the same time. So, by the way, we're going to kill that fucker. I don't know how, I don't know when, but he is going to stop breathing, and it will be because of me.
Okay, well, let's hold off on that until we...
No.
Okay. Wait. Wally, what do you have?
Oh, the giant snake dude?
Yeah.
He gave me a gift.
What the fuck? I didn't get a gift.
Oh, I got a gift. I got some nice mold.
That sounds nice.
Next experiment, since he found out it didn't react quite as the same as the others had to the same substance. My guy's a sadistic son of a bitch.
Well, did you, I know there's some things where if you try to just eat it instead of smoke it, it is way stronger.
I say, hey, suck, and I look over at Wally. So what's in the fucking pouch?
I didn't actually open it yet.
What's in the bag?
I take a look inside.
So it looks like it's a deck of cards.
Cards.
What deck of cards I'm hoping?
It looks like half a pack of cards, honestly.
They're
Ooh, are
they're
they
making female snakes on the cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as far as I can tell, kind of what's on the back. Is there a pattern to there's only half? Can I understand anything about the deck?
Do we get the other half if we work well tomorrow?
The back of the deck of cards is all the same reoccurring pattern.
What is the pattern?
It's just a very kind of ornate, stylized mixture of browns and greens that kind of swirl and blend together. It's kind of like a Celtic pattern across the back.
Okay.
Can you detect any magic?
Does anybody know anything about cards?
Yeah, here, if you give it to me, I can show you how to play.
Wait, hang on a second here.
That's not exactly.
You're going to just pay 26 pickup, so don't give it to him.
Is there anything about this that is different than your typical deck of cards? I mean, cards do exist in this world.
Are you going to pull cards out of the deck? Are you going to shuffle through them? What are you going to do with them?
Yeah, I just hand the deck to Benning.
Rude.
Can I make?
Look, the only reason you guys like him so much is because he talks funny.
Can I make an Arcana check on the cards without pulling
Maybe.
any off of the deck?
Maybe
Yes, you
work on an
can.
accent, Kaziri.
Roll for Arcana for me.
I got a 10.
Yeah, it's a deck of cards, man.
Does the
It seems to
side
have
with the suits on it? Is it what kind of a card game is it? Is it like standard cards that we know?
if you are going to shuffle through it, the cards are covered in different pictures.
Okay.
What if I flip through it like a flip book?
Again, you see multiple different pictures.
So it's not a flip book.
No.
All right, hold up. Benning, you're a magician, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you know any magic tricks? Like, if I pick a card, will you be able to figure out which card I picked?
Okay.
If we arrange the
DM, can I make a history check to see if I am aware of the existence of a deck of many things?
Yes, you can make a history check.
It's 18.
You are aware of the existence of a deck of many things.
Does
And
this-
some of these pictures you have come across seem very similar to ones you've heard of.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Welcome to the second to last chapter. Look, just give me the cards, and I know a magic trick. I can show you.
Absolutely do not do that. All right, listen.
I don't understand what the problem is. It's just a deck of cards.
I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it, Kaziri, I promise. I'm not going to leave you in the dark on this one. But first and foremost, Wally, hand me the pouch that these cards came from.
Okay.
So as I'm putting the
toss
cards
it
back in the pouch, I'm explaining there is a... I'm not really sure who it came from or why it's here, but there is a deck of cards, and I believe this may
I've
be
seen
one
that.
of them. That when you draw each card, there is a magical effect that happens. And while some of these...
No, that just making me want to pull one more.
I know, some of these can be fantastic,
Keep it away
such as a card that will grant you the benefits of a wish spell. But
Yeah, let's pull that one.
But
Come on.
there are also cards in there that conjure
shut up.
powerful demons.
Well, as I take a look around, we are trapped in jail. We are not getting out, and I had to bathe a fucking nightmare in blood. I don't see how this can get any worse.
We could die.
Once again, I don't see how this can get any worse.
You could be us and have to listen to you rant.
You
Like I said, that's amazing. Wait, what?
your soul could be removed from your body and placed in a different plane of existence, so you're not actually dead, but you're definitely not alive.
Well, okay, I'm in jail somewhere else as opposed to here.
Spending.
Let's look
Net
at this
neutral.
logically. We're running out of time. They're giving us barely enough food to survive. We're going to be... If
I have-
Loggy lasts longer than all of us, he'll be pushing us in no time flat, because our usefulness will be over.
So what you're saying here is worst case scenario, I'm dead. Best case scenario, I'm not dead.
So,
All right, so
I have a couple questions.
okay.
Shoot.
Benning,
Mhm.
do you know if there's a way to tell which cards are which?
As far as I know, it's impossible to discern which card is going to be pulled, and pulling the card is what activates the effect.
So if you just like pull it out of the deck, that activates it?
Mhm.
Okay. Huh.
Come on.
And then,
come on.
did you notice? So I noticed today the room I was in was off the hallway where the dung cart went by.
Was it the one with the giant snake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's where I was the other day.
Which, by the way, he knows everyone's name.
right? It's a little weird, isn't it?
I would think being bathed in blood is pretty weird than knowing somebody's name.
After what we just witnessed, it makes sense.
I witnessed a meth house.
I just pushed a bunch of living skeletons into a pit, so I'm all right.
Well, and then we spent an hour watching people be flayed alive so the bloods could be drained into basins, but then...
Yeah.
DM,
I've seen battlefields that were like that.
yeah. DM, as they're all discussing this, I am very, very openly trying to sit there and just scrape off the top card.
Okay, is anybody trying to stop
There's
him?
no
or-
secret about this at all.
Stop him from doing what?
Yeah, I have the cards and they're in the pouch.
Oh yeah.
So do I notice Kaz trying to paw at the cards?
Yeah, he's trying to grab this whole pouch from Benning right now, and just occasionally Benning is just kind of slapping his hand like you would see, just no, stop it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to do. And look at him and point my finger at his face and go, no, just like a 12-year-old.
It seems like somebody has a gambling problem.
Yeah, in a game where even losing is still winning.
Oh, all right, since Wally was the one that was gifted with the card deck, does it make sense that he pulls or doesn't it matter?
That I'm not sure of, but I am going to give it back to Wally.
I agree. I think it's Wally's to
you
do
know-
what he wants to with.
Well, thank you, Red Wally. We'll take those.
You you know the dangers, at least a little bit, as much as I do, at least. And it's up to you, as it was gifted to you, to decide when that seems appropriate.
I'm okay. I'm 3 characters away from him.
That potentially could be part of a way to get out.
It could.
It's right.
Absolutely,
search,
yeah.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
What were you saying though about the room that you're in, Wally?
Well, it has everything inside it. And I mean, if we could get Aziz seems more or less like okay with us.
He's more of a neutral.
Yeah. So, I mean, potentially.
So wait, by everything, do you mean our stuff is in there?
Oh, everything.
Are we sure? I mean, there's lots of different rooms in this
I
place.
mean, it might not have been your stuff, but it was stuff a lot like it.
Oh, no, I want my stuff. I want my shit back.
Well, if your stuff is anywhere, I think that's where it is.
So, what did you like try to take any of our stuff or anything like that? I mean, how did you wind up getting?
So the whole job was pretty much just rearranging everything kind of by category and where it belongs, and I tried to kind of slip our stuff together a little bit, and he was aware of that and wouldn't let me do it.
So before we figure that all of our necessary stuff is in Mr. Megorium's Magic Emporium, I think we should at least spend a little bit of time checking out the rest of the rooms. And I know that means subjecting ourselves to even more servitude, but I think we got to start. I don't know way to get out of here, but let's make sure we understand the entire layout before we
Did
try anything.
everyone have any opportunity during the day to kind of slip away on like a bathroom break or something?
Well, all right. So, Wally, as you know,
I just pissed in the pit full of snakes. So.
Yeah, and I took a dump in the blood pools, so.
Well, Wally, as you know, I was I was cleaning up dung, and so that involves loading up the wagon and bringing it out. So I went pretty far through this area. So obviously we know that the chamber immediately next to ours is the one where they murder the living shit out of people. And then the chamber adjacent to that is actually where these big brass doors are with holes in the bottom for snakes to come in and out. And the doors open periodically to allow larger shipments and beasts in. That's the door to outside. There, I've felt fresh air coming in through that door the entire day. And then the chamber immediately to the south of that is where it was where I was today, and that's where the Triceratops. I said Tyrannosaurus. I said T-Rex before, didn't I? But no, the Triceratops is what shit on my jacket.
Either way, heaping piles of shit.
Yeah, large creature crapped on my decks. But then to the south of that, there's like a hallway with a bunch of pillars, and then another hallway in. I think that is the hallway where that's the one that connected to where I saw Cloggy in a room with a big wooden gangway around a pit, and then through there was another room, and then a river, kind of a stagnant smelling sort of river, and is where I was dumping all of the shit all day. So there's a couple of rooms that jaunt off of there, and I'm not really sure where those are yet, but I think we've got a pretty large amount of the layout, and I actually take like crap off of my jacket and I'm like drawing it on the floor.
Well, regrettably, the floor is covered in about 1.5 to 2 foot of water.
How about the wall?
They're damp, but I mean, well enough you could dry your coat on.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
want to dry my
hanging it
coat.
off.
I want to scrape Triceratops shit off of my jacket and use it to draw the map of the area.
Okay, yeah, easily enough done.
That way I can kind of show everyone what I saw today, and then before like the end of the night, I'm going to take the water and wash it off the wall so they don't know we're Shawshanking, but we are.
All right. So,
I have one question. Is that thing in the room with us listening in on all this, or is it not there?
he occasionally pops in and out. It's a guard. There's a portcullis there that he keeps closing, leaving, occasionally checking in. But really, he doesn't give a flying fuck about you guys. You're in a hole right now. After about an hour or so, he comes back, takes, your bowls, and basically chains you guys up for the night.
Hey, Wally.
Hey, Red Wally.
Hey, how many possessions do you have right now? Like all the things that you have.
I look around. 1.
Okay. What is
Mind
that
you,
one?
this entire time, Kaz now has his hands chained above his head, and he's butt-ass naked.
Like, I bet if you draw one of those cards, it's going to be super amazing, and I might end up getting pants out of the deal.
I don't think that's what these are. Maybe I could...
Well, there's only one way to prove me wrong.
Maybe I could put the cards somewhere else and give you the pouch.
Well, that would be kind of appreciated. I would like to own pants again.
Just the image of Kaz trying to jam his junk into a card pouch is kind of hilarious.
Just like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, just like.
Yep.
How long are my pants?
Whatever your normal garb would have been, since you are a monk, not using armor, so... If you want poofy genie pants, if you want leggings, whatever pants you decide you want to have is what you will still have.
Okay. Well, they were full length. So I want to try to rip off the bottom half of my pants.
Okay.
So I'm just going to walk around in champs now.
Like, are you trying to rip off from the knee down?
Yes,
hip
from the knee down.
Okay. Yeah, before you guys are chained up for the night easily enough, you now have 2 pant legs that are ripped off of your pants.
Do you think you can make something out of this?
At that point is when the guard walks up, looks in, sees Kaz holding 2 pant legs, looking down at his junk, and just goes, "No, we're done with this," and chains you guys up for the night. So now Kaz is holding 2 pant legs above his head.
Well, I don't want the pant legs to get wet, so I'm holding them in my hand above my...
That is how your night is spent.
Guys, I don't like being a slave. All I want to do is draw a card.
So, for the sake of expediency, over the next week, you guys are essentially cycled through a number of rooms with the addition of 2 more. The additional room, and I will give you guys the description of the room, is to clean UNT nests, and the other one is to feed the Hydra. So, for the UNT nests, these dank catacombs have been covered into sleeping quarters. The walls are lined with alcoves that now serve as nests for UNT. The room is essentially just a sleeping quarters for the UNT.
And where is this at?
Number 18.
We can't see numbers.
It is, let me, where the devil did it go? Here we go. Over here, 18. It's the room you were walking through to right next to the river.
Okay.
Yep. So that is just sleeping quarters. For the most part, you're charged with, cleaning out any trash, replacing any kind of bedding materials that are in there, general upkeep of the room. It's a very kind of easy, relaxed day. For the most part, during the day, there aren't many UNT in there other than watching you, so you can essentially have a break day. The other one is down here at 20, which is by the and that is going to be feeding bodies to the Hydra. So, you are made aware.
Where by the river? Okay, got it.
So, while there, you are tasked with taking dead bodies that they have no use for, essentially either putting them onto the boats and rowing out into the river, ringing the bell and dumping them into the water, and you see this Hydra come just screaming through the water and eating them, or if there's more than the boats can handle, laying the bodies out on the shore, ringing the bell, letting the Hydra come, and occasionally you see UNT, Chaltons, and other creatures that have offended the UNT in some manner that they get chained to the wall and devoured live by the Hydra.
Jesus.
So, as the week goes on, if there was anything in any of those of the places you go and what you are tasked with doing, if there's anything anybody wants to attempt in those areas or the adjacent areas, let me know. So the first one is muck out the dinosaur pens.
Material.
What?
I am lost. Dan lost material?
That might have been him talking to my mom.
Okay. So, the first one is mucking out the dinosaur pens and dealing with Sokosh and the nasty grung egg candy. So, anything anybody would like to do in this area? Okay.
Hard pass on all of it.
So, throughout the week, doesn't matter who learns it, but one of you learns that up by the gate there is a UNT named Nath, and he is the gatekeeper, and he is supposedly susceptible to bribery. You've heard multiple UNT talking about how he will accept, different goods or services in exchange for being allowed discretion with things coming into and leaving from this area. So the next one is help Aziz rearrange the contents of the storeroom. So anything anybody would like to attempt to do in there. I will let you guys know as a note, as the time went on, the weapons and anything that seems like it was potentially dangerous has left this room.
Okay. The only thing I would have told Aziz is that my name was also Wally.
So, as he sees you guys passing through the halls, when you aren't working for him, let's say on a day Kaz is shoveling shit, every time you walk past with a cart, he just screams Wally at you. And he does this with every UNT working in this room with him. He just yells out names at whoever walks in front of the door. And it really leads to some confusion on the day that Wally is shoveling shit and Kaz is working in the storeroom, because both of them go, what?
The next time I'm in there that I notice all the weapons are gone, I want to kind of nonchalantly say, so do you know what happens to the stuff when it leaves the storage room here?
Yes, it is either consumed for whatever purpose, but for things like weapons and armor, they are taken to the armory.
That bastard, they ate my dagger.
Ah, the armory. That makes sense for weapons.
So, through this time frame, also, Aziz has regaled you with every single life event that he can remember up to this exact point. And at one point, he shares that he heard a rumor that Fenthaza is planning an insurrection against Rosnissi.
Oh, really? How do you feel about that?
He expresses kind of a guilt about it because he doesn't know if it's true, and that Rosnissi is the one who allowed him to stay and gave him a job and gave him purpose again. So he doesn't want to see Rosnissi harmed.
Mm-hmm. Aziz, just one more question. Do you know what you gave me a while back?
Half a deck of cards.
Do you know if there was any, like, why did you give it to me?
It was garbage.
Oh. Do you have any other garbage?
Not usually.
Well, just let me know if you find any.
So, at one point, when you are crossing paths with him, he slithers up to the door and drops in your girl garbage.
Thanks, buddy. Keep it up.
And he just nods and goes back into a corner of the storeroom.
Okay.
And every time you walk past, you're getting some form of garbage. You're getting like wood splinters occasionally, shredded paper. You get what equates to like the entrails of some kind of an animal at one point.
Mm.
We can use those splinters as shivs.
They're more like tooth, but
They won't go very far, but we can use them as shivs.
Yeah, okay.
anything anybody else would like to do with Aziz?
I mean, I'd like to draw a card, but that's not it.
Well, the opera. So as we go through assisting Zopal in the poison distillery, you all cycle through the room at some point or another. Occasionally, some of you are hindered slightly by poisons and making minor mistakes with it. After some time, though, you are all sent essentially to that same fungal spore room with him to collect spores. So if anybody would like to try to recover that key again, here is an opportunity.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try to. Well, I'm working with the mold, and people are looking at me, and I'll make a whole bunch of noise with my tail, smacking like the ceiling and whatnot while holding my breath. I'm going to use to steal the key.
Okay. Can you make a dexterity check for me?
Dexterity or sleight of hand?
You're distracting them, so I just need a dexterity check to see how well your mage hand can get through there.
18.
Okay. Your mage hand deftly slips essentially into the recess of this guy's ribcage where the key is hanging, and your mage hand easily enough grabs it.
Mm-hmm. Is it like one of those monkey traps, though, where mage hand can't get out because it's holding the key?
Oh no, it's able to get back out, but
Cool.
Now there is a mage hand holding it. So, yeah,
Well,
you managed to go unnoticed with grabbing the key from his chest cavity with mage hand.
Cool. Now the real question is mouth wallet or prison wallet. I think I'm going to choose mouth wallet.
All right, there's your sleight of hand check.
All right. Another 18.
All right.
Hooray for repeated numbers.
Yeah, you are able to sneak that key out deftly.
Yeah, I don't understand what's so bad about this place.
And so over your time with looking at the key while you are in the service of Zapal, you notice that it is a matching key to the one he uses that locks those doors to the...
Very cool.
Okay. Would anybody like to do anything with the snake?
Was there anybody else in there?
There is a guard watching you throughout the time, but for the most part, it seems like a disposal area.
Throw this shit out.
Okay. Where does
Okay.
the guard stand?
He's basically standing in the doorway where you guys enter.
Okay.
So I'll take that as a no. There's nothing of interest that occurs in this area. So the next one is the Yuan-Ti bathing area where Kaz had to scrub. So anything anybody would like to try and do in that area?
Nah, let Kaz scrub some more. I'm good with that.
All right, so Havelak, throughout the week when you are in there, you manage to learn that Fanthaza has a prolific dream about the Black Opal Crown, a treasure which the Yuan-Ti believe has the power to usher forth Dendar the Night Serpent. So you gain that knowledge. Anybody like to, for cleaning the Yuan-Ti nests, anything anybody would like to investigate, look at in there in particular?
Oh yeah, I'll give it a search, see if I find something they dropped.
Just make an investigation check to see what you find.
$22.
All right. In your time in that room cleaning up, you do find a scrap piece of paper that's folded up, and in common, written on it, are the words "white feather" and "black mask."
They're part of the cult of the dragon.
You're going to a costume party, take your pick.
And finally is feeding dead prisoners to the Hydra.
I guess I'll look to see if there's anything like in the shallow waters of the river, like where the people get piled up when they don't fit in the boats.
Okay. In that time frame, you actually notice that it's not in the shallows as much. Well, actually, it would be in the shallows. In the shallows, there is a rolled up piece of paper. It is very small. It's probably about 3 inches, 4 inches in width when rolled up. And when you unroll it, you find that on one side, barely visible, is a very crude map of this entire temple.
Okay.
So you essentially have a map that shows the entire map you are on right now. So if you have any questions about any areas, I won't be able to answer them. Go there.
The next time that we're in all together in our little community time in our prison, the day I get the key, I just go, "Hey God, I got something for you." Here. That tasted terrible. I think the guy thought that I got stroked out from dealing with poisons. I don't know why he didn't think to look.
Probably because you were naked. Or you have your cock sock on.
So now that I got the key, can I draw a card now?
But actually, I do have that question. Over the next week, is anybody going to the deck?
I mean, should I be allowed to draw a card? I would like to draw a card, but I don't think the group's gonna let.
Um, guys, do you think we should? Are we desperate enough? We should try deck now,
Yes.
or should we wait until we have a plan?
No.
So
What? So we're going to wait until we get too weak and tired to do anything? Like, what do we got to lose, really?
my question is, over the course of the week, Fenthaza doesn't meet with us at all.
No, she's essentially letting you guys do your labors. She's giving you time to consider the offer, and basically making your lives a living hell, so you either agree or you die.
And what about like Ross Nissi? Have we seen him? Seen someone who we think might be him? Anything like that?
No, you haven't, surprisingly. For
What
all
if
the
that-
talk you guys overhear about Ross Nissi and how, he is this great ruler of the Yuan-Ti, you haven't seen him or been beckoned by him yet.
Can you draw out the route of the dung carts one time?
Yeah. So,
Because I assume we've all kind of figured out this by now.
Here's what I thought was coming out of the bottom of the container. All the extra shit that was on the grate. I didn't see, when I lifted it up, I didn't see a hole in the bottom. Yeah.
It's damn clean. Still.
Okay.
there you go.
And he got dropped out of Roll 20 in Discord. I guess he's back in Discord, but not on Roll 20 yet. I know he's smoking something in the smoker, so I think he might have stepped away to do that really quick. And it sounds as though there's been some sort of complication.
Him or her really put themselves in quite a predicament.
And so we work in this room, or this room, or this room, or this room.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go check.
And have we noticed if we ever have?
I was running out of pellets.
I guess so. Here in the snake pit, there's one guard.
Yep.
Here it's just Aziz.
And there is a guard outside the door.
Okay. And
There's
then,
always at least one guard with you.
and then we're being escorted with the cart. It's one.
Yep. Or two, depending on situation. Depending on what it seems like to be available manpower.
Okay.
Nothing else. Probably would have had just another sheet.
Because most of these places have, somebody coming in or out, so they feel one is out. Cart, you're kind of traveling, so they just want to keep a little closer eye on you.
And how big is the cart?
Think wheelbarrow sized.
Okay.
It is not very large, so it requires quite a few trips.
Okay. So, guys, I had an idea, but it might not work the way I want it to. But basically, we would have to be able to take out, at least a guard each. And somebody might need to get covered up in dung.
Well, I've already got that second pat. But what happens then? What's like the end of this plan?
I guess I'm not sure if we'd be able to get everybody is the problem. Because we could essentially get someone out of the room. We'd have to take out a guard, get him in the dung cart, and then just continue on and dump them in the river.
And that's assuming that we can do it quickly enough to do all this without the rest of the UNT here coming down on our heads.
Yep.
Well, all right, what about this? Obviously, this is terrible. But What if we
Oh,
agreed
thank you, baby.
agreed to help Finthaza remove Rosinisi and get her the Black Opal crown from the Temple of the Nine Gods, but ask her if she can get us in front of Rosnissi so that way we can see where he is, because if we're going to take him out and create this like slave uprising, I don't even know what these other slaves, I don't think they're really alive.
I haven't seen him yet.
Most of them seem to be dropping or pretty much worse off than us, but maybe it seems like based on what you told us about Aziz, he knows that, or it is known that Finthaza is not being, a good little follower of Rosnissi, so maybe he'll offer us some sort of like deal or something to take care of her or what. Either way, I think we need to see what both sides of the field are so we can pick which one we want to play on.
Also, Aziz, through his time and your guys' time with him, has literally told you every single he has ever
Every single what?
rumor he has ever heard. So you hear weird rumors about monsters living in the jungle, about his druid friend, and that they were part of some huge debacle back in the Sword Coast, and that's why they're over here now. Like literally every single rumor he has ever heard, including things up to and including Sokosh liking to jam those candied eggs up his butthole. He has absolutely no discretion and no real way to filter what is real and what is not.
Hey, Aziz, have you heard any rumors about us?
Well, I heard that you like to play with a certain pureblood.
I immediately looked down.
That spread fast.
Tell me more.
That is all. That rumor comes around a couple times a day. So, as the week draws to a close, you guys are getting ready one morning to go to your respective duties, and instead of being removed from your pits as you expect, there are buckets and buckets of water lowered down into this pit. And as you guys are still chained to the wall, they are just thrown on you, and they proceed to scrub you all with these really coarse brushes, getting all of the dirt and sludge and slime and just filth that you guys have accumulated over the week off of yourself. And then they essentially douse you in delousing powder and make sure all of your manacles between your wrists and your ankles are good and tight, and proceed to escort you, after lifting you out of these chambers, to none of your normal jobs. And you pass the quarters that you have come to know as Fentha. And you all essentially go into room 9 here, which I'll give you the description of as you pass through, all the way over to 11. So you guys are all brought in over here.
Hold on a second. Let me expand the map. Where's here?
Here. And let me move him. So as you pass through number 9, I gotta scroll down to it because stupid doesn't have side things. So you see what is referred to as the Fane that you have heard about throughout the week. You see an underground cathedral opens before you. At one end, a sculptured balcony perches atop 5 rearing stone serpents. Blood dribbles from the serpent's jaws, falls into a semicircular basin, and from there flows along a sloped trough into a wide stone bowl. Set into the floor south of the bowl is a mezzanine, prominently situated atop which is a cauldron of steaming broth that exudes fleshy odors. Sure. To the west, a huge gong carved with a snake pattern stands on a second balcony. Thank you. So, you come to the conclusion that this is probably where the stew you've been getting is coming from.
What? So you said we've been hearing about it all week. What is it that we've been hearing about the Fang?
You've been hearing about Yuan Ti going to the Fane. There being blood sacrifices made in there. This is essentially where they go to worship in some capacity. Aziz has ordered crates of incense that have been in the storeroom sent to this room. You've heard occasionally that there is a new pureblood in their midst who decided to take the right. So, after that, you guys are led into 11, and before you, you see four pillars support the vaulted ceiling, and steps ascend to an iron throne carved in the likeness of a hydra. Painted on the wall behind it is a large blue triangle. To the south, an engraved stone disc is set into the floor of the alcove. A 10-foot wide opening in the east wall leads to a flooded cave where you see the hydra peacefully resting. Before you, you see Ras Nissi sitting on his throne. So, I give you... I'm trying to find a good description for him. So, before you, you see a well-built man with the lower body of a snake. He has bandages over portions of his flesh, and seems as though there seems to be some sort of disease emanating from beneath these bandages. Parts of his body seem to have withered, while others have maintained a very strong physical physique. And it is a pretty intimidating presence. So, there before you is Ras Nissi, and on either side of him are two Yuan Ti that he seems to be conversing with, and then there's this kind of little twitch that happens. And then they get a really confused look on their face, and it's in hushed whispers that is really hard to see. In the middle of a room, you see a tall, muscular Yuan Ti pureblood that shows the scars of combat, that seems to be donned in ornate clothing and gear, and is just doesn't fit with the aesthetic of the rest of the Yuan Ti. This one seems to be holding a place of prominence. Yeah, prominence. Prominence?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Fenthaza. So, as you guys enter the room, and you see this going on, you see Ras Nissi raise a hand and look at you and go, "So, you are the new slaves." "They are not slaves, they are to be protected. They are innocents. Shut up." And this is all to himself.
Yes. Hello. I am the official messenger for Emperor O'Houlihan from Baldur's Gate. He has a message for you. It's about his new tailor. He loves it. He made me wear it.
He looks at you and goes, "That is some very unusual garb." "Shut up, slave!"
I can see how you're confused. This is actually, you can only see the clothes if you are incredibly attuned to magic.
Or Emperor's new clothing him.
What is your armor class without any armor?
My armor class, sans armor, will be
Yes.
12.
Alright, let's see how this works out for you.
I'm gonna die. Emperor's new clothing, somebody.
Suddenly that very muscular and built pureblood just grabs this great sword that has been sitting next to him and just smacks you with it full on. And you take 12 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, did you say slashing or slapping damage?
Slashing damage. As this great sword comes into contact with you, and as he pulls the blade away, it almost is like it's making a second cut and suffers 7 more.
That sounds a lot more than almost. It sounds like it did.
And this Yuan Ti looks at you and goes, "You will not betray my master with your foul words."
I will not speak of the great tailor of O'Houlihan ever.
All right. And with that, you take another 38 points of slashing damage.
What?
Rolled a natural 20.
Why is he hitting him again?
Yeah.
Because he's expecting you to behave.
Okay.
He wants you to express reverency, and this guy is not stupid, and he's charged with protecting Rosnissi. And so essentially he's getting the idea of Mockery, which is his essentially king.
Then I will fake that I just got knocked out.
Okay. With that, you have a healer come running up to you because Rosnissi wants to talk to you, and you recover. Let's see what he gives you. Oh, where are they? Oh wait, there they are. And you feel a surge of energy of 17 hit points come back into you. And this healer gives this Yuan Ti that just beat the shit out of you a real dirty grin, or a real dirty look, because, well, Rosnissi summoned you, and this guy is actively trying to kill you for no good reason without orders of Rosnissi. And as this is happening, Rosnissi looks at him and goes, "Do not do that to my guests, or I will have your head." And the other half of him doesn't say anything. It's just this. His chest kind of puffs up, and he holds himself in kind of that superhero stance and just gives a nod. And for a rare moment, you see both sides of his personality in agreement on the same thing.
I have a question. Was there like a herald? Do we even have any idea who it is we're standing in front of?
No, not at the moment. So, at this moment, this individual looks down at the party and goes, "I am Rosnissi. I am a lord of Mesero, protector of the city, and I will bring about Dendar the Night Serpent and end this world." As his personality kind of switches into this hunched over, kind of glaring, evil, teeth-baring look. And he goes, "Why have you
Why have we what? Sorry, you cut out there.
He's asking why you invaded the city. 26.
26. Okay.
I gave you 26.
Okay.
So he is looking at you expectantly, and he looks at Kaziri and goes, "My apologies, friend. My associate here is a little stab happy."
You know, in Baldur's Gate, we have those who follow you listen to you. You might want to get your house in order.
Yes, he definitely requires some discipline. As
I'm
he
gonna be
looks
honest,
at him,
If I die, this will be a war between your nation.
so as he makes the comment about requiring discipline, you see what would be appropriate. Essentially, I'm trying to figure out what would probably be best. Where is it? I thought he had that also. a firebolt come flying out of his hand and blast into the back of this individual. And he turns around and just gives Rosnissi a nod and takes a step away from you all.
That is certainly a step in the right direction. Thank you.
He still hasn't introduced himself, has he?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, right.
As the protector of Mesero
Yeah,
and bringer about of Dendar the Night Serpent.
right. Sorry, I forgot about that already. All right. Rosnissi, Benning Chesterton, slave/innocent, apparently. We have not invaded Omu. We are here investigating the death curse.
With that, he perks up all of a sudden at the words of death curse. And he goes, "Tell me more of this death curse."
Peoples across the world who have been resurrected with resurrection magic are finding this gift revoked and are dying again. And people who die are not able to be resurrected.
And where do you think this death curse is coming from, pray tell?
Clues have led us to believe that a potential source is the Temple of the Nine Gods here in Omu.
That is impossible. That is the... Oh, sorry, choking again.
Was that in character?
That is the temple made by my good ally, Asarak, that he has charged me with protecting.
Well, if you're protecting it, do you mind letting us in and having a little poke around?
And his personality perks up again and goes, "As a paladin from Mesmer, I do not have access to the temples of deities of other gods. And then he switches again and goes, "For that you require all 9 puzzle cubes. Beyond that, I know not of its access."
We have been to several temples throughout the city, and in a small number of these, the puzzle cubes have been missing. Do you know anything about this?
I know there have been multiple factions in my glorious city defiling my sacred sites. One of which I hear rumored be you.
Do you treat all factions of adventurers coming to Omu in a similar fashion as us?
Anyone who trespasses in my city without my permission, yes. And with that, a flash comes across his face, and it's almost like a message is communicated to the other jackass. What's your armor class, Benning?
Without armor is 12? Yep.
Okay. And with that, the blade comes crashing down into you.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you questioning his decision pissed him off. And so you are going to take... Let's see here. Gotta jump through a couple tabs. A total of 20 slashing damage.
Okay.
I just got all cleaned up and now I'm back.
And he switches again. We do not take kindly to people questioning our divine rights in this city, especially mine. I have been betrayed plenty for my belief and trying to protect my people. Do not test me.
All right, so it seems like the more we try to convert here, the more we keep on sticking our foot, and for that, we royally apologize. What do you want from us? Well, you brought us over here for a reason. What, pray tell, be that reason?
I wanted to see why you were in my city defiling my sins, and I require all of the knowledge you have of this death curse.
All right, well, we were mercenaries, for lack of a better term, who were sent here from the Sword Coast. They said that we would get paid upon completion of removing the death curse from the city. We were offered no real information, sent to Point Arhanzuru. Then we went on a wild goose chase, and that led us here. So we were following a lead, and if that following that lead offended you, we deeply apologize. But once again, we have just as much information as you do.
They were paying you?
We are going to cut you in, but we'll deal with that later.
And you believe this curse to be emanating from the tomb of the 9 gods?
We are following a lead. My job is not to sit there and think about ideas. My job is to fulfill what it takes to get me paid.
I like this individual. And with that, he reaches behind him and pulls out one of the puzzle cubes and throws it at your feet, Kaziri, and goes, "This is one of the ones I have taken. You may have it if you can end this night curse. Or this death curse."
Thank you. Can you throw a pocket, too, so I can put it in there?
He just kind of looks down at his serpentine lower body and then looks at you.
Look,
It's that begrudgingly, are you serious right now? I don't...
Look, your tailors sew pockets into everything for the upper body. It's going to be a game changer. Pick up the puzzle cube and I just toss it to Benning.
I put it in my un-shit-caked jacket.
So, he basically motions for everybody to leave the room, and they do. And he looks at you all and goes, "Have you heard of Fenthaza? She is a scourge on my people."
Aziz may have said that name a few times.
I've heard
What's
some
it to you?
rumors.
I hear rumors she is threatening to kill me and take my place as the ruler of people.
I mean, the giant snake says a lot. Those words came up.
So, if somebody were to so happen dispose of her, and it happened to be you, I could grant you your freedom and the remaining puzzle cubes to fulfill your divine mission.
Is that all you would require? Is that all you would require of us, sir?
Well, any of her interlopers must die, and if you do not end this curse by the time you exit that tomb, I will take your heads.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to get that far if we don't.
With that, a loud bang happens as he slams his fist against the throne, and the guards that brought you here take you back out and immediately throw you back into your holes for the rest of the day.
Damn it! More questions.
Just about to ask him a question.
I'm going to be honest. Fuck those guys.
I just wanted to know if he could do anything to arrange us to be in the same room with her.
With our stuff.
Or without.
I need my stuff.
I'm thinking draw a card.
I'm not assassinating anybody without my spell book. I could say that with no doubts whatsoever.
With this, as you guys are brought into your cell, for a change, it is actually devoid of water. It has been cleaned. It has been basically made pristine for you guys for having essentially a day off. And there is excess food there. There is clean water. It is dry for a change, and you aren't chained up to the wall.
Oh, great. Now if we can only send a medic down here for the gaping sword... That's not happening, is it?
An adventure, the guy said. It'll be fun. What's the treasure, jackass?
I should have listened to my dad who just worked at the Verizon store.
I'm curious. Are these manacles I'm in at least halfling size, or are my feet dangling for a foot?
When you're chained up for the night, essentially they're hanging all of you off respectively. So you dangle for the evening. Your arms are numb by the time you wake up.
Probably can't even.
So, as you guys are given a day off to converse and do whatever, essentially relax. As the day comes to a close, Fenthaza shows up. And she motions to the guard, and you are all pulled out from your respective holes and brought back over to... Oh, I need... You guys are essentially brought back over here to her chambers, and she goes, I heard you had a meeting with my master today. I would like to know the contents of it.
Well, if you open up this wound, you can find a lot of it.
Yes, he is
Yeah, he was not friendly.
quite mad. This is
Speaking
why I
of
need
which,
him.
did I get the benefits of a long rest last night?
Yeah, you're getting the benefits of a long rest, albeit it's not comfortable.
Okay, so I do get all my HP back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, that guy's just a dickbag.
Is it literally just us and her right now?
Mm-hmm.
I start kind of looking at the other people, like giving them the "Do we do anything now?" move eyes. Does anyone make any other movements to me?
I don't think we're all in agreement.
So basically you're giving me a look that's like a no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if we want to take a short break there and let you guys sort some shit out, and stretch legs, get drinks, go to the bathroom, we can do that.
It's about that time.
We seem to be in a catch-22,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to get played off each other.
Since we're taking a quick break, Mike,
Hmm.
I have a deck of cards physically.
Mhm.
So if I was to draw from that, because I looked at just the item thing for which cards you would draw from.
Yeah.
So basically I have ace, king, queen, jack, 2 and 3 of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and the jokers.
Yep.
Okay. So if I draw, I have a deck ready, and I will turn on the camera. Just for that.
I trust you enough.
No, just for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you and the rest of your party if you want to draw cards.
I just want to be ready if that's a move I want to make.
So can we? So you said we had a long rest, and then in the morning we were brought to Venthaza.
Yes.
So can we like backtrack to the night so that we can talk about what just happened and what we're gonna do?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. So we shall roll back to that when we return. Call it 10 minutes.
Okay.
I hear all of the clicking.
Yeah, that's me.
Ooh. So much typing. Oh yeah, you've been having the nightmares every night you've been here, by the way.
Yeah, I assumed.
I'm honestly kind of surprised when you guys got a deck of many things you didn't draw a card away.
That's because I wasn't allowed to hold the deck of many things.
That was
Never deck of many things.
me trying to resolve a way to make player and character knowledge meet one another to prevent a possible travesty.
Now I know. Next time, give Kaz the special item. Shit'll happen instantly.
I'm a little surprised
Stuff.
Wally didn't do anything with it though too.
Still might happen.
Well, like I said, it's your deck. I'm not going to stop you. I've given you all the knowledge that I have to caution you, but even then, it's still not like a hard no.
Yeah, I just like I read the stuff, and there's obviously a giant mix of it could be absolutely terrible or pretty
Or
good.
you could save
so.
the world in one card.
Exactly. So for a 1 in 26 chance, I mean,
1 in 26 chance to just end the campaign.
but it seems like it's yeah, I guess a 1 in 26 chance of we win and 1 in 26 chance of we all lose.
Is it just 1 in 26 that we lose though?
I mean, I think so. Because there's a lot that are bad, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like a half and half, good bad,
Mm.
and most of them are like mediumly.
Medium good or medium bad.
And Mike, I guess Mike must have come up with 4 other things because it says there's 22. So that's interesting too.
Yeah, unless maybe the deck of many things in Tomb of Annihilation has some extra stuff. I don't know.
Or it's a fake.
Or that too, or I try it and nothing happens.
It's just half a deck of playing cards with weird pictures on them. Maybe they're tarot kit cards.
That'd be cool too.
How many cards were in the tarot deck, Jay?
I couldn't tell you right now. I think it was face cards and jokers now.
Oh, okay.
But to answer your rhetorical questions,
No.
if you're speaking to me as a player, I understand where you're coming from. Speaking to Kaz, he's not gonna listen.
Mm.
Like, this is okay, cool. Like, I can bide my time and I can find a third option with going through that route, as opposed to, all right, cool, I'm gonna get Slash just for apologizing.
Yeah, it's a little weird, man. It's written that he is kind of nuts, and the guy with him is set up to be blindly zealotous towards him and anything that this individual perceives as disrespect, because it's just weird.
Yep.
As all
So-
things in Tomb of Annihilation are.
So I'd rather align myself with somebody who at least not actively destroy me than somebody who will actively destroy me.
Have I gotten a sense, I don't mean to start, but of how desperate everyone else is in the party?
I'm at like a 6. I guess, I mean, for my part, I see a lot of moving pieces that I feel like are moving away. And like our time to make a decision is closer at hand than I would like it to be. For my part.
Yeah. Red Wally.
There's somebody who I will not enjoy working with in Fenthaza, and somebody I absolutely with Ross Nissi.
You absolutely what?
I will not work with Nissi. Because I have absolutely no faith in his ability to honor anything he's promised us.
What makes you?
I don't think either one are going to.
I was gonna say, what
Otherwise,
makes
we'd
you
be treated
think?
like shit.
What makes you have that little bit of faith in Fenthaza?
Not getting 38 damage when I say things.
Okay. I guess that's something
You know,
to
at least he
consider.
killed you.
And also, it's not like it was Bronsonissi himself who did the damage to you. It was a guy with too much leash.
It was those in support of that man.
Yeah.
And if that's what you allow, that's the person you are.
You have also seen Fenthaza torture numerous individuals to their death.
I think they're both terrible people.
Do we think he can get us the 9 cubes? If we were chasing Wizards of Thay that had the cubes, how does he have all 9 now?
Well, he doesn't have all 9. We have several of them. Now we have 5
Had.
technically.
You had.
they're in their position right now.
Yeah.
You didn't put him in your prison wallets?
And Rosnissi has like at least one.
Which he has now turned over to you.
Which, yeah,
So-
we should have thought of that as we were getting captured.
All right. So we are at time to get started. Do we have everybody back?
Well,
I've
I'm
heard-
not here. I'm taking a chance.
I've heard everybody but Cloggy.
Bueller? Well, do you guys want to start mulling over thoughts and conversing while we wait on...
Give me just
Dan?
a sec.
Okay.
I'm here if we're ready to get going.
Okay. Yeah, we were just about to start dealing with your guys' full day off to rest and recover after dealing with Rosnissi and his douchebag. So when Corey gets back, or if you guys want to start already, we can start the conversation about who do we want to work with, what do we want to do, etc., etc.
I guess we gotta decide who's the lesser evil.
Or who's at least going to let us leave.
Both have promised to let you leave for taking out the other one.
Right, but it's who do we believe?
Well,
Unless we believe both.
right. Both of them have promised to let us leave for killing the other one with a rider on that. Fenthaza's
What
rider
happens?
being get me the Black Opal Crown, which we now know is used for bringing is something that is believed to be used to bring what is it? Dathar,
Dendar, the Night Serpent.
Dendar, forward or whatever. And Rosnissi wants us to kill Fenthaza, her followers, and then make sure that we end the death curse. I don't think that we're wrong that it's in the Temple of the Nine Gods, but if we are, then we're dead.
And if you guys would like to take some more time to see what you can learn in this temple, see if you can get a little bit more free reign, or request audiences with either party.
We're talking to Fenthaza right now, right? We're still there.
No, we're doing the night before.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here's a situation we can mull over. This all comes down to who has possession of the Black Opal Crown. Each one either wants to retain it or wants to take over control of it. What if we find a way to steal it, and then we just hide it and blame it on the other party so that they take each other out?
Well, here's the thing, Kaziri. The Black Opal Crown is in the Temple of the Nine Gods. Neither of them have it. Only Fenthaza wants it.
Okay.
So if we side with Rosnissi, then we don't need to even worry about it. And on top of that, one of my major reasons for wanting to side with Rosnissi is this. It is known that Fenthaza is trying to kill Rosnissi, which means that anything we would need from her, such as requisitioning that all of our items be put into a crate and requisitioning that crate go to her, suspicious, may not happen. And Rosnissi he's the head cheese. He's the big nacho guy. He's got the power to do whatever we ask, within reason, whatever we ask him to do to help us kill and get out of here.
So we just need one of them to give us our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and we clearly have questions of trust in both of them.
Absolutely.
So I don't understand why we're throwing our full support into Rosnissi just because he's the more powerful person we don't trust.
Maybe we play both sides until...
That's what I'm saying is let's pit them
Yeah.
against each other and see if that changes the scales.
Aren't they already?
Yeah, they're already against each other. Let's get our shit
No, but-
back from Fenthaza by
yeah.
pledging our allegiance to her, kill her before we leave, and then go kill Rosnissi too.
Something along those lines.
But
I was
we-
sitting there, they're discreetly fighting against each other, saying we create a.
Like, we could just ask each of them to help us out, and if they come through, maybe that's the person that we support initially. If we can find a way to kill them both, I'm on board with that.
My only issue with this is, fine, we have no idea how many UNT are aligned with Fenthaza. If it's half, let's just say it's half are thinking that Rosnissi needs to be dealt with, half are thinking that Fenthaza is a lying piece of shit. So, like, if we kill both of them, then we probably have to kill all of the UNT here.
Problem with that is,
We couldn't
What if
kill
they-
13 of them to stop from going here. How are we going to kill more than 13 of them to get out?
I have
What
another
if-
idea.
What if they just kind of get into a civil war power struggle over who's going to take over?
It's possible.
Here's the deal. What if we have them put them in a situation where both of them will want to give us back our equipment?
Mhm.
Like we sit there and say, Fenthaza, we'll go ahead and attack Rosnissi if you can get us our equipment back so we're at full strength. Then we turn around and go to Rosnissi and sit there and say, hey, by the way, Fenthaza sat there and is going to give us our equipment to go kill you. Now, what if we get that equipment from you instead and we go kill her? So no matter what, we get our stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can, reappraise the situation at that point. Because if the important part here is we're not doing shit without our stuff back,
The
Step
problem
one.
with this argument is we're not in a position to do any of that.
yeah. So if we sit there and we rat out Fenthaza at the price of getting our stuff back anyway, there's your overt, the resurrection is, or the insurrection is happening now.
Mhm.
There's going to be something to distract both parties, and we can see if we can slip out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just team up together to eliminate the common for us.
I mean, here's the thing: if this big ass snake is telling us that we can't be trusted, let's use that to our advantage.
who do we have the better chance of getting our stuff back from? That's step one.
Fenthaza.
How do we know that, though?
Because I can at least disagree with her without getting slashed in the throat.
How sure of that are we, though? I mean, we haven't really had any disagreements with Fenthaza yet. I mean, I agree. Look, I got hit too for not even saying that they were doing something. I was merely asking if everyone was treated the same way, because I see absolutely zero fucking Red Wizards of Thay here. And if they're here taking puzzle cubes and that's seen as a corporal fucking punishment, then why are we the only ones here sweating through fucking dino dung? That was my question. And then, you and I both got, tasted the blade on that one, and I don't think either of us really deserved it.
Actually, I forgot to add this in because I'm dumb. Wally, when you were handling corpses, you did notice a strangely high of bald.
Bald?
You
my
made note
God.
of it because you were also.
Yep.
This is a cancer wing.
Do you guys get the feeling that no one likes me here very much?
Every day of my life.
And just because you guys should have this knowledge anyways as characters, Red Wizards, one of their defining features is, on average, at least most of them have a shaved head.
Mm-hmm.
Look, in order to find the third solution, one that makes everybody happy, or at least everybody the least amount pissed, we don't trust anybody here. That's well established. Everyone here has kind of fucked us over in varying degrees. We have no reason to trust anyone around us. And therefore, with that, no power and no plan, we have no idea of what we're going to do.
If we do nothing, I know that much. If we do nothing, nothing changes. So I think I agree with Kaziri in that we should play both sides. Because basically whoever gets us our shit first is probably the person who
Dies last.
Yeah.
Anyone
Agreed.
that shows any willingness to work with us probably gets a little bit more consideration in my book.
Right. All I know is this. For my part, just getting our stuff back is not the word go. I can't do anything with any of my stuff right away. I'll just have things and still only be able to cast cantrips. I need time.
Okay, step 2. Let's get step 1 done first. Let's get our shit back.
I'm
Whoever
just
we
saying.
have to get it from.
I'm just saying. I mean, obviously the thing with Wally looking at us to see if we were gonna do it when we went in with Fenthaza didn't happen. But what I'm saying is getting our stuff back as of right now for me isn't. I can't do anything with it. But we
It's
do.
not a complete step, yeah.
Right.
No, sorry, we're not going to rush the podium at this point in time.
I'm just ready when I get the signal.
What, to hug things?
Now,
Yeah.
Right. So tomorrow, we tell Fenthaza. We tell whoever asks us first. Let's say I don't know that we're talking to Fenthaza about whoever asks us first. Are we working with them? The answer is yes.
I'm fine with lying to whoever gets us our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just like they're lying to us. Should be a lot of fun.
I'm pretty sure that Rosnissi is lying to himself 50% of the time.
Here's the deal.
Gorgon arguing with himself.
They both decided to muddy the waters by getting us in. They can sling a little bit of it around.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, anything else you would all like to discuss?
I would like to sit there and see if there's any loose stones in the jail cell that we're currently being contained in.
Make a investigation check.
Not.
There are some that seem to have some loose mortar around them. None of them seem to.
Damn it. All right, then with one of my fingernails, I'm just going to write down.
Okay.
Could use your
Let's
horn.
see.
It might be a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that hurt?
Well, you'll tell us.
I don't have any.
Also, my horn riding was never very good at TV.
All right, I'll hold you up. Mike, did you just
All
lose roll
right.
20?
No, it's still up.
Oh.
I'm still here. Alright, so if you guys are all done, anybody want to mess with the deck of anything on that?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that is Wally's call. Unless you want-
Just one card. Just one card.
It's like
Is Kaziri just doing that all night?
I would assume so.
I think Kaziri has been doing it literally anytime he wasn't bleeding or working.
Yeah.
Just one card. Just
I am 100. It's like that one episode of High Metro. Barney Stinson wanted a high five and literally had his arm up for the entire episode until he got it. It's just me with the. I will keep this finger raised until someone lets me draw a card.
What were you saying, Havlak?
it's like Christmas Eve. Just one.
Santa won't know.
Santa
Peer pressure is a real thing, guys.
All right. Kazira, you get one.
All right, I will draw one card, and I'll take the top card from the deck.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Don't worry, I
Alright.
got the backup character.
So I'm letting him do this first.
Oh my god. Wait, first?
All right.
Oh, I can't wait for this to be a Twitch clip.
Oh my god.
I can't see.
Did
Can
you,
you see the cards?
no.
No. What is happening?
Can you just tell us what card it is? I trust you.
You sure?
Yes.
I wanted it more dramatic. All
There's
right, well,
nothing more
shuffling.
dramatic than getting destroyed by one of my best friends.
You said top card.
Yes, top card.
It is a Jack of Diamonds.
Jack.
That sounds sharp and therefore painful.
All right. Where the devil is it?
I guess every party has to fuck with a deck of many things at some point, right? Like you don't play D&D for forever without drawing a card.
So, Jack of Diamonds, Kaz, as you pull this card, you see a beautiful starscape splayed across this card.
Okay.
In the center is this just highly detailed individual star. And you feel this energy just surge into your mind and your body. And you suddenly feel more depth. You increase one of your ability scores by 2. The score can exceed 20, but cannot exceed 24.
Oh my god. You just got an ASI.
I did. All right. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna dump both those points into charisma. Because I think I have to put them into the same stat.
Yeah, they do. So, as you see Kaz get hit by this energy, and he begins to start talking again, he just has this energy about him now, this kind of elegance and depth of speech that didn't seem to be there before, and you almost all feel enchanted as he speaks for a minute.
I'm sorry, everyone. I feel like I have not made a best first impression. My name is Kaziri Terrifiton, Warlock at your service.
And he's still standing there with his cock out.
Oh, how dreadful. It simply will not do.
How terribly gauche.
So, are we gonna do any more pulling from this, or?
I'm not. I got away with playing with fire.
I'm sort of emboldened by this. And I'm feeling as desperate as everybody else, I think.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
The Queen of Diamonds?
Yeah.
All right.
Put that card over there with the Jack.
Holy fuck. So, as you pull this card, there is another beautiful starscape across it. And there is what appears to be almost this picture of the moon transitioning between all of its different phases. And I need you to roll a d3, or
D6, 1
Yeah.
and 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 2, 5 and 6.
Roll a d6, you said?
Yep.
roll a d6.
I may have screen peeked as to what this one is.
Oh, I know you did when you said that.
Alright. I rolled a 2.
Okay, so you feel almost like a beam of moonlight comes piercing through the dark and dankness of where you are currently at, and you feel suddenly at peace and like you could make anything happen in the world. You are granted one wish spell.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
There
sorry,
was-
Benny. You
What?
said that this would be completely against us to draw from this.
No.
Do I know that I have that exactly?
Yes, you know that there's this energy coursing through your body right now that gives you this definitive feeling that you could do anything right now. Anything you desire, ever wanted is possible at this exact moment. And all you have to do is utter the word and it will happen.
Oh
Don't
god.
think Ghostbusters.
Does it have to be this moment?
Yes, it has to be this moment.
Okay.
I'll give you a little bit of time to confer with your friends, but it has to be pretty quick.
Okay. So how does one phrase?
It has to be
anything they
super
want?
specific. I'm pretty sure. It's like a
Okay.
genie's wish, right? Like if there's a loophole, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Oh, don't tell the DM.
How? I guess what exactly do we want to happen?
First draft. I wish
want-
for the destruction of the Soulmonger.
So
First
here's
draft.
How can you?
wish.
How much
Here,
can you
let me
include
give
in
you
one
wish
wish?
while you think about it. Wish is the mightiest spell a mortal creature can cast. By simply speaking aloud, you can alter the very foundations of reality in accordance with your desire.
I wish the Soulmonger didn't exist.
I wish we were all best friends.
We already are.
Wish granted.
Like how much can you include in a single wish?
So there's some examples of it. You can create one object up to 25,000 gold piece in value that isn't magic. Can't be any more than 300 feet in dimension and appears in an unoccupied space you can see on the ground. You can allow up to 20 creatures that you can see regain all hit points, and you end all effects on them described in the Greater Restoration spell. You can grant up to 10 creatures you can see resistance to damage types you choose. You can grant up to 10 creatures you see immunity to a single spell or other magical effect for 8 hours. You can undo a single recent event by forcing a reroll of any roll made. Basically, you are able to alter the entirety of the universe to your will. So if you wanted to become a god, wish would essentially allow what type of god you would be and what you would be in control of.
So
Okay.
there's also another option for that as well, is that you can cast any spell, regardless of spell level, by using wish. And it's still everything about it's still the same, but like you can sit there and say, it's like, man, I wish I could cast Simulacrum, and then 24 hours later, you've casted Simulacrum and you've used up your wish.
I'm impressed that you can pronounce that. That's a tough one.
And
It's Jay. He's pretty smart.
It's Kaziri, and he recently got a charisma bump.
And
It's
also,
gonna be
this
for
spell can also have some you by casting it.
Spell can what?
Cause effects to the caster, not to the point of death, but it will it definitely has the possibility of hurt.
It could bite. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a camera.
Oh, okay.
Oh God. Do we know enough about the death curse to say that the soulmonger?
Do we know the identity of the Soulmonger?
It's an artifact.
To have him removed from existence.
I think it's an artifact.
So I'm not giving you guys.
No, I know.
Yeah,
this,
so
is, this is the exact right time to take your thumb completely off the scale. Nope, you're
Yep.
right.
I'm not giving you guys any information
Yep.
right now.
Yep.
It is based off of what you remember, what you have.
Yep.
Indubitably. Because I imagine if we just sit there and say never existed, it would be non-specific enough that someone else would just be exact same boat.
I think it's an artifact. So like, if like, can you say like, I wish mosquitoes never existed, and then there's never a mosquito? Like, probably.
No.
Which would also be a great wish.
Yes. I mean, we could also wish for things. I wish the death curse did not apply to human. I mean,
For
yes, it would
old days.
be
Wait, that-
puppies and kitties end up ceasing to exist.
And elves and dwarves.
What's up, Havelak? What are you trying to...
I
Do
said
we wanna
humanoids, not
Oh, human.
Do we want to end
Yeah,
this?
well,
Hey, let's see what Sean...
Okay.
They would talk about a wish spell, like say you wanted to wish somebody dead. Didn't exactly work out that way. What had happened is you went to a point where that character was no longer alive. The wish was granted, but you were
it was
no longer in that campaign.
yes, a fair point. We have to phrase it so that the desired effect is the one that we have as the only option.
And remember, it is me, so crazy thoughts.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
can find loopholes.
Actually, the laws of this world are quite strange. We might just want to wish for simple, like more wishes.
That one doesn't work either. They've already talked about that.
Can you wish for more wishes? Is that a thing?
Nope,
Ooh.
8th level or lower.
That's the only thing you'll tell me. Okay.
Well, it says in Wish, 8th level or lower. Wish is a 9th level spell.
Yeah. Secondarily, what if we wished for some clothes for my body?
The opportunity to alter the space and time in Q1's clothes.
I figured the idea would be
That's it.
better if I sounded
That's
fancier.
This was much easier for Thanos.
Yeah,
Half of all
when
life
you
gone.
indiscriminately. Can I make that wish?
Two and a half of your party members
curse in town. Massa goes into the jungle.
I want to wish for which one we could trust, because we're not going to get out of there by fighting him all.
If we wish for the death curse to end and it does, Ross Nissi just lets us out.
I mean, now granted, that one could be if like, hey, I wish the death curse ends. Everyone's dead, and now there's no need. I like small stakes. I'm totally cool with small stakes. Oh no, we can res somebody.
Do we know why Rasnesi is here?
Not,
Because this is his house.
you know that Ross Nissi is the leader of the... That's
But
about
we
all
don't
you
know
got.
why. Okay.
Oh my, we can sit there. I wonder if this magic is powerful enough where we can wish one of our friends back into existence.
I would think so, because resurrection, or at least reincarnate, would at most 8th level. Because I've used one before.
Yes, but this might be able to get around the resurrection by if we could sit there and say, I wish our old pal Geth never bit the bull.
Then there's 2 of me.
And then we can sit there and say, I wish that yellow creepers never came into existence.
Time's up. Make your wish.
I wish that in our present reality, the soulmonger ceased to exist.
So in your present reality that the soulmonger ceased to exist.
We're going big stakes.
I'm so proud of you for going as big as you could go, Scott.
Yeah.
I thought about just wishing us out of here, but I was. We can figure that out.
We wind up in the caldera of a volcano.
This is, the lawyer of the group sitting there and wishing for a spell.
I'm trying to decide if I want to big of it.
Like
So-
how
Yeah, here's what happens. Because the soul monitor never existed, we all go back in the sword coast.
Back to being level 1 heroes in the Sword Coast. We never embarked on this quest.
That's why I said present reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is altering the fundamental world. So, in essence, your reality would have to change.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what it says you can do?
So, you can alter reality, but to maintain the reality that presently exists, the Soulmonger has.
But if like right now he ceased.
So, you're wanting the Soulmonger to blip out of existence right now.
Yes.
So, as if from this point forward, the Soulmonger never existed.
Like he
Because
just
the problem is that in this present reality, the Soulmonger never existed. For this reality to exist, the Soulmonger must exist.
Right. He didn't say that.
I want him to now be
Yeah.
dusted like Thanos snapped his fingers. Here.
Right. Yeah. He didn't say that it never existed. So it's not altering the timeline. It's altering what happens from here forward based on the way he said it.
Mm-hmm.
I want him dusted now.
Okay. So okay, that makes sense. What you were exactly asking.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why we let our lawyer do it.
It's funny that the lawyer's the one who got it.
Could not be any better.
Look, if it wasn't for the fact I took those 2 extra points in charisma, that happened.
So, as you feel this surge of energy come coursing out of your body, and it just goes white, and you can't see a damn thing. You feel absolutely drained. All of the energy from your body is essentially gone. And at least at the moment, you feel drastically weaker. So essentially for the next... I'm just using one from it. 4 days, your strength is essentially 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
was
you
going to
feel
happen.
weak
no
as
matter
shit
what.
right now.
Is there a way to do that in D&D Beyond? Or is that just I have to know that?
Maybe.
If you
It would
click,
be a...
yeah, if you click on strength, you can get into other modifiers.
Oh, override score.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, 3.
The next 4 days, you said?
For the next 4 days, his strength is the equivalent of 3.
Mm-hmm.
He turns into, like, I guess the most apt description aesthetically wise is a Holocaust victim.
Mm-hmm.
Just skin and bones right now.
Oh.
We're back to the Nazis again.
You just... you see your tall-ass, beefy monk Goliath turn into a stick figure.
Yeah.
And the...
Wally, someone drained the piss right out of you.
I don't know if I recommend the deck of cards.
So as this happens, you start hearing this massive crashing sound come barreling through this temple. And you don't know what's going on, but there is some kind of massive commotion going on.
Oh, what's all this then?
And of all the things before you that there could be that you haven't seen in all of this time, Rosnissi shows up above your guys' cage and goes, "What did you do?"
You'll have to be a little bit more specific with the question.
The death curse is gone. I can feel it. My body is no longer falling into ruin.
Asking you
And-
shall receive.
Oh, that's...
And you're seeing this now. This is what you would define a paladin's upper torso as. It is just, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan, essentially.
So
I gave you my
does
muscles.
he look like Hagrid the Goliath paladin with a snake for an ass?
Yeah. Yeah.
First question here is, could you possibly write down your lifting regime? Because that is ravishing.
And as you're hearing, he just gives you a look, and you start the sounds of combat going on throughout this temple. and you start hearing things being just slaughtered left and right. And Rosnissi, at your question, hauls ass, and you see this flame-tongued sword come to life in his hand. And as it comes to life, you just hear a shing, and then suddenly a head tumbles down into your guys' cage.
Who's it?
It's the head of Fenthaza.
Whoa.
I think that took more than diet and exercise.
And, over the next few hours, you guys keep hearing combat. You don't see Rosnissi. You don't see anybody else over this entire time frame.
Anybody gonna let us out?
And so it gets eerily quiet. And you guys don't hear anything. And you eventually lull yourselves off to sleep. And as morning comes, you hear just this rousing sound of just pure joy and enjoyment echoing through these caverns that you thought you would never hear. And it turns out that one of the UNT shows up, opens the cage, lets you guys out, and honestly, I had no fucking plans for this because I wasn't expecting the wish card to be drawn. So this is all on the fly.
So this
And
is the
all
sound of
you-
a campaign derailing, right? That's
literally that. You guys just ended the fucking campaign.
We're fucking heroes.
You took
Jesus,
out
the
an
champ.
entire chapter of this module.
Mike, if you really want to go through its national aggression, I guess we can go ahead and draw
No,
a
I'll-
deck of cards.
This is how it played out. I'm gonna let it happen, man.
No, I mean, if you want to, we'll have this be the official one, and we'll have the epilogue, which is, hey, here's another universe. These guys weren't smart.
No, it takes the actual joy and satisfaction out of what you guys just accomplished out. So I'm gonna let it happen.
Okay, thank you.
It was pure chance. I'm gonna let it happen.
Okay, thank you.
So as
why I
morning
couldn't-
comes around, you guys are aroused and the chains are let off of you. And, there are healers brought for Wally because they see something drastic has happened to him. And he is still weakened, but he is essentially on a path to recovery. And you are brought to Rosnissi's chambers. And they're laid out before you, completely restored and maintained, and essentially back to pristine condition is literally all of your equipment. And he says, you ended the night curse and gave me the ability to end Fenthaza, and for that you have my eternal gratitude, your freedom, and your equipment.
Thank you, good sir.
Because for the first time in essentially the last 50 years, Rosnissi is back to not his old self, but his old Yuan.
Yes, quite.
Those games.
So you are given your freedom, you are given the gratitude of Rosnissi, and he looks at you all and goes, if there is anything I can do for you, now would be the time to ask, because once you are gone, you are prey once again.
I do have. First and foremost, can you get us back to the Sword Coast?
Yes. Quite.
That.
Oh, Wally, you're from the Sword Coast.
Yeah,
We'll bring you on. Oh, by the way, this entire time, my name was Kaziri.
Shit.
you're not Red Wally?
I could be. I kind of like the name.
With that, he motions to and come back with a scroll. And he hands it, he lays it on top of your pile of gear. And as you begin to acquire your things, you find that it is a scroll of teleportation.
Nice.
We're gonna get paid.
I'd also like.
Paid.
So
go
Bang has used his request. He is looking at the rest of the party.
Yes. Let's have me go last. I will shore up whatever we miss.
You guys put me on a back foot, I'm putting you on a back. That ain't got himself a scroll of teleportation for all of you. What are the rest of you asking for?
Nothing.
I'd like you to maybe not have like slaves.
So, at that request, you start hearing the sounds of combat throughout the entire temple. And multiple screamings. And then he looks at you and goes, done.
Oh God. He killed the slaves.
Oh, the second wish did not go quite so well.
Mistake. And if I could just say goodbye to Aziz before we leave, that'd be great.
You are free to spend as much or as little time in my temple as you wish, but once you leave, you are no longer under my protection.
Oh,
Aye.
quite.
Havelek?
Actually, I think I've found something that is worth asking for. Is there some sort of token that we can have to possess that symbolizes our diplomatic relationship? Something that just sits there and says, we have been kind to your people and would relish a chance to be kind to your people once more.
So, let me pull up this real fast. What about Havelak? Is there anything Havelak?
Well, I am partial to magic trinkets and jewelry of magical nature.
Alright, let's see. I'm looking for what would fit well for Kaz's requirement.
This has got to be the weirdest ending to a campaign.
Yeah.
I need better magic weapons, armor,
Oh God.
ring of wishes, whatever.
Actually, here's one. He goes back into a chamber that you hadn't before, behind his throne, and within a few minutes he comes back out, and he hands you over this really just kind of old, tattered, torn up book. And as you look at it, it's written in Old Omuan.
Ooh, wonderful.
And as you open it up, you find that it is the spell book of Rosnissi. At least one of the copies of it.
Oh, how incredibly grateful. This is a wonderful, wonderful gift. Thank you so much.
And let's see what we can get for. Avalak.
While you're looking stuff up, Mike, guys, I think as jarring as the end of this was, we should probably for next week allow Mike some. If we're gonna do Dragon Heist next week, allow Mike some time to do an epilogue of sorts, if he would like, wrap up for Tomb of Annihilation.
Agreed.
Oh, I could probably do most of it on the.
It's up to
Kind of
you.
had a-
I'm just if you
Yeah.
wanted it, I would think that we would be more than willing to give you the week to get it down. But if you want to do it, that's
I've had a thought in mind for it for a while.
fine. Oh, okay.
Be written, but so yeah.
Alright.
So again, he motions to one of the UNT, and it goes running off, and you see this shield come up, and you see the individual who wanted to essentially decapitate people for insulting Rosnissi start to protest. And Rosnissi walks up to him and decapitates him. And he goes, "This is the shield of Sekole." And it is essentially a magic that words spoken by the shield bearer are amplified and sound 10 times louder. And he explains it.
Yeah, you're cutting out
So
a
we
little bit, Mike.
He hands over a shield to you that has a shell on the outside. And he explains that this is essentially like a shield of thaumaturgy, that any words spoken while you bear this shield come across 10 times louder than they would normally.
So we should all agree, I should never possess this shield, correct?
Oh, great. How is it that you're more lordly than I am now?
Some can say it's magic. I'm one of those people. It's magic.
And so again, he looks at Cloggy and goes, "I cannot let you leave without giving you a gift. What would you like?"
I have no idea.
You want
The
to
gift
think?
of our lives.
If you want to think on it for a while, you can come up with something and resolve it next week.
Who's the shield for?
You said you wanted a magical item.
I'm a thief that can't use shields.
He doesn't
we
have
can
much
always-
in the way of magical items.
Yeah, we can always do some job retraining.
That thing is worth a pretty penny, though. So
I graciously take it and bow. Thank you.
As soon as he grabs it, it goes, thank, and then booming you.
yeah, that's exactly what happened. Everybody in the room.
What's the name of this thing?
I don't think it actually has a name. It's just a tortoiseshell shield that allows you to amplify. I'll have to look it up. So, all right. At right about that moment, you see Jay's old favorite buddy, Douchebaggy, walk in.
You're probably going to want to repeat that.
So, Jay, your favorite ass scrubby buddy has walked into the room now.
Oh, yes, quite.
And Ross Nissi is still here.
Yeah, he's still there. But he has just managed to kill the jackass who was being an insubordinate douchebag and acting without Ross Nissi's permission, and Fantaza.
Yes. Once again, using the strength of our friendship, your Royal Highness, this individual here has been acting probably against the best interest of your great nation. I have chronicled it all here, and this is just my murder journal. It's like I can provide you the original, should you want to go through it and pass judgment on this man.
Simple enough. He makes another motion, and your asshat but decapitated. He essentially is in a purge mode right now. That, hey, you guys saved me. I'll purge.
Yeah, that is wonderful. I feel like justice has been served, and there was a hole in my heart that has now been filled with the blood of...
Yeah, he has no qualms with slaughtering people right now, seeing he just removed the entire resistance from his organization.
I feel like this is the beginning and continuation of a wonderful...
Pretty sure this guy said he's going to kill us the minute we leave.
Well,
go back to viewing us as people who are allowed to be killed.
Yeah, pretty much that's exactly what he said, is as soon as you pray once again.
Well, let's just assume here that it is our time to make our leave, and by doing so, we leave this continent.
You said that the scroll was a scroll of teleportation?
Yep.
And he said we can spend as much time here as we like?
Yep, but as soon as you walk out the door, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I can only tell you how quickly welcomes wear out when I'm...
Well, what I'm thinking is, do I want to copy this spell into my spell? But oh wait, no, I don't have a no. That's the teleportation, like actual teleportation. Sorry, I can't put that one in my spell book because then I can't cast it. So I'll have to use the scroll.
Wonderful.
He does, go, I can offer you some assistance with that. You want to leave in an expedited manner.
Favorable.
Wait, where was Sindra Sylvain? Was she in Port Nyanza or was she back in Baldur's Gate?
She was back in Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
Okay, because that's kind of where I'm thinking I want to go. Take Kaziri home. I know for my part, I would like to just tell everybody and anybody that I was a part of the group that ended the Death Curse, and that my last name is Chesterton, and that we're great people. And actually, Cluggy, when we get back, I'm going to join you. I'm going to work as tirelessly as you will to help you find the people responsible for what happened to your family.
And I will give you the greatest gift I can possibly offer. I will help you at great distance.
So what are you gentlemen planning on doing?
Like right now before we go?
Yep. Like, are you going to hang around?
I want to stop by.
Getting the fuck out of there?
I want to stop by to see Aziz.
Okay. You stop in, and he gives you a very odd look and goes, "Who are you?"
You don't remember me?
I do not know you. I have seen someone similar to you, but not looking like you. Do you have a brother?
Oh, I lost a lot of weight.
He's actually getting wagoned into the room right now.
I'm Wally.
Yeah, that shit wheelbarrow you've been using? Yeah, you're sitting in that right.
That works. I'm Wally.
Where's Red Wally?
He's all fancy now.
What happened, Wally?
Do you know what you gave me?
Garbage. Lots of it. As he hands you more garbage.
Is this actual garbage?
Dude, that wasn't on purpose.
What? I handed you garbage.
So you gave me the most valuable piece of garbage I've ever seen. And I want to. It's been great for me. I want to give you a chance to have some as well.
Oh God. Okay.
So.
And he just looks at you really confused for a minute, like that expression of "What are you asking?"
So I drew a card. Red Wally drew a card, and cool things happened to us. So I figured I'd let you draw a card.
Okay. So he takes the motion and draw a card. Let's see what he gets.
All right, let's.
Watch as this is the terrible card.
Yeah, this is the world-ending card.
King of Hearts.
All right.
I love how Scott is so intent on being.
I want it to be authentic.
He wants it to be so authentic and notarized by the group, basically, that he has turned his camera on for the first time in 2 years.
So, you see the image of a throne, and this weird snake suddenly seems to become persuasive. Like, he's no longer confused about what he's doing. It's like he can convince people much more simply to do his will now.
We need to just make a villain at all.
So you have given this snake proficiency in the persuasion skill, and he doubles his proficiency bonus for checks made with that skill. In addition, he gains rightful ownership of a small keep somewhere in the world. However, the keep is currently in the hands of a monster, which you must clear out before he can claim it.
We just made a villain.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't make a villain. We made a post-quest arc. We have to find
And he
Aziz's
gained-
castle.
And you see his eyes glaze over for a minute and goes, "I need to go save my keep." And he starts slithering out of
Even he
the
said
room.
it.
And you just see Aziz get just focused that he is going to save his keep. You have no fucking clue where it's at, but he does, and he's just hauling ass. He's dashing out of the Temple of the Night Serpent to get to his keep.
We'll probably hear more about that later.
So, as you all are meandering through, you just see this big-ass snake that you've all come to know, Aziz, hauling ass, and people are just jumping out of the way. And as he's going along, he's progressively saying, "Come with me, we must rescue my keep." And occasionally, one or two of the Yuan-Ti start following him.
Interesting.
By the time he makes it to the front door, there's about 5 or 6 Yuan-Ti that are actively hauling ass with him.
Does he say their names over and over?
He's just saying names as he goes and saying, "Follow me, we are on a great quest." Just to random people as he passes by.
At this point, I put my hand on Benning's shoulder and goes, "Benning, I don't know your reluctance to draw those cards. That deck has been nothing but exquisite for us."
Listen, I'm not sure what happened to your voice. but listen, the fact that this has happened 3 times is... Well, from my understanding, it's astronomically impossible what's happened today.
Yeah, it is.
Well, to explain the voice, I can do that in one thing. That was a bit I was doing the entire time. It just made people like me more.
But Kaziri,
But I can go back to that if you want.
I already liked
Yes.
you.
That was the real treasure. Friendship.
And scene. How is it that the most game-breaking thing did not cut against us at all?
I know, 3 times no less.
I knew that was going to be dangerous, but it seemed like something Wally would do.
Well,
Yes.
knowing the odds of my campaign, that was about how it was supposed to go, I figure.
It was either going to be that or we were just going to immediately all die. It was
Yeah, the world just ends. It was either the world ends or you save it right now.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cloggy, have you by any chance thought of what you might want from Ross Nissi as a parting gift?
Let's see.
We can address that in the epilogue if he needs more time.
And for the time being, before you guys leave, he essentially hands over a bag of holding that is filled to capacity with coinage.
But they're
Oh
all
my
wooden
God.
coins.
No, they are all chalt, like old chalt money, like pre-calamity fall of chalt money.
But it's still made out of gold, silver, and copper and things like that.
Yeah, so we can
Yeah.
melt it down.
Well, not even that. It's worth its weight.
Oh my god, guys. We can melt this down and make statues of us.
I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Oh my god, you guys.
All right. I mean, that's
But
all
you
I-
guys did make another villain because Ross Nissi isn't really supposed to survive this, and he's still on a quest to bring back Dendar the Night Serpent.
That sounds like a whole world problem, not just ours.
Yeah.
Except there are 5 individuals who do this.
But this is not something we are contracted to take care of.
Well, I mean,
We'll do.
honestly, we did. We sort
I
of
will.
we sort of wished our way through this campaign and gave you the option to homebrew a campaign.
Yeah. So, you guys gonna teleport back to Baldur's Gate then?
Yeah, I guess so.
Indubitably.
Okay, so as you all take the time and energy to invest in the skill with a little bit of the scroll, with a little bit of help from Ross Nissi and his priests and whatnot, you are able to easily enough, with the accumulated magical skill of individuals that are around you, teleport yourselves back to Baldur's Gate. And as you arrive, the city, you see individuals sort of more jovial than you would normally expect. It's,
Because
this
they're
whole
not.
the whole death curse has put kind of a damper on everybody's existence. And when they see the vitality suddenly return to their loved ones and the strength come back, those who have done great deeds to save the world once again be restored to their former glory, the city is much more upbeat than you would normally expect, and people are much more jovial and kind and caring towards each other for the time being. And it makes Baldur's Gate, even in the worst parts, a much more pleasurable city to be in for the time being. And so as you make your way through the city towards Sindra Sylvain's, merchant facility, her warehouse/home, you are noticing occasionally that there are people who are much more melancholy, much more disheartened. And you're starting to realize, for all of the good this did in the world, all of those people who are gone, the resurrection magic is still not working on them. That because the soulmonger no longer exists and it is destroyed, their souls were. So those who have passed because of the soul and not be resurrected because of what was containing their soul was destroyed, and it didn't allow the release of the souls.
Mm.
So there are individuals out there much more melancholy. They're seeing the rejuvenation of these individuals, and when they go pay the immense cost to try and get their loved ones resurrected, it just breaks their heart, because these individuals reach out and they find nothing. There is no soul to attach to that body. So you make your way to the city, finally make your way to. You knock on the door, to the surprise that same paladin individual from earlier who was guiding individuals around and organizing parties and using their divine sense to put parties together that would save and prevent this death curse, looks melancholy. The house seems cold. Seems like nobody has really spent much time there. And as he looks you over, he looks much more haggard and beleaguered and worn down than he was before. And just by the expression on his face, you can tell that.
Question, DM, before we continue.
Yeah.
Was this the same guard that I fought in the bathroom?
No, that was another adventurer that you fought of.
You kind of cut out at
was the gentleman.
Sorry, you kind of cut out at the end. You said you could tell that Sindra.
That she is past. The house is cold. This individual seems almost lost, because he was a companion to Sindra for many, many, many years. You get the impression that they may have been more than just friends.
Hey now.
So, he of course motions to let you all in, and the house is what you would expect of somebody who has passed. There are sheets covering furniture, and the hearth is cold, and it just doesn't feel warm anymore. And he brings you into what was that dining room that you all entered earlier at the beginning of this campaign. And he doesn't even question the new members to your party, because he recognizes Cloggy and Kaziri and Benning, and sits down and just slides a note over to you without saying. And as you open it, there's a message from Sindra in there, and it says to the effect, "If you have made it back and received this letter, I bequeath to you a magic item from my collection of your choosing, without question, without argument, without incident, whether I be dead or alive." And attached to it is an inventory of magical items she has.
Wow.
And so you all get the opportunity to pick of your choosing a rare or uncommon magic
Let's go to
from
the Google
the
Drive and find
entire
out.
list.
From the entire what?
from the entire list. And I got to do some math here.
Okay. Also, by the way, I figured
And
I'd shout it
each
out.
of you-
Thank you, Control Freak, for joining us for the end of our campaign, apparently.
So, there it is. And he starts doing math, essentially. And to each of you, well, he pulls out multiple purses and begins counting coins. And finally switches over to a... And as he does this, he finally pulls out 5 different chests, and each player is given 150.
How much?
5,150.
Gold?
Yep.
Wow.
5,100.
player, you said?
Yep.
Wow.
Guys, I will not need a thing for the rest of my damn life.
Can you repeat that number just one more time?
5,150.
Okay.
You know what I find really funny?
5,150?
No, that none of you chose to check to make sure the gold that Ross Nissi said that was in that.
Was.
No. He filled it full of fake shit.
I told you it was full of wood.
Got a bag of holding.
It's
Was it chocolate?
it's essentially like pewter and tin and fool's gold and stuff like that.
Here's what I may say. If we were foolish enough to believe this is real currency, we can...
That is true. It does have some value in terms of
Mm-hmm.
Also, we got a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yep. So you each get a magical item and a...
You said there was an inventory list for the magic items?
No, it's literally the entirety of the list that exists. You can pick a rare or uncommon item.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Assuming it's not too...
Well, you just let us end the campaign
hey,
with a wish
Corey.
spill. What do you care about game breaking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey, do you still have that
List? The tables?
Excel sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, I'll pull it up and I'll drop a share link in there. You'll still have to look up what they do,
Cool.
but it'll be a list of
Yeah.
those items.
Yeah. That's right, because that's where you shared it, not Google.
Right, yeah, I dropped a share link in Discord, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a wish spell. It makes sense. It's not that far-fetched to wish a item out of existence. That was a good end to this. I will say that much.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, Jay, was it worth being humiliated? And
No.
all right, we're starting over again.
And unbeknownst to us, we created 2 timelines.
You're gonna have to do both of them simultaneously because now there is a...
Yep. Here we go. Let's throw this dice and see which universe we landed.
Oh, should we? What's who has to roll to see if Wally can ever cast a wish spell again? Because there's a 33% chance he can never ever do it again.
Let's see here.
Oh. Is that
Let's have Wally roll a d6.
a D6?
Yep.
Okay. It's a 6.
You can cast a wish spell again.
Woohoo.
1 or a 2 would have been never again.
Yep. So, Wally, the first time you wished for something worked out absolutely wonderfully. Why don't you try wishing it again?
Starts pulling cards from the deck again.
No. Don't draw cards. Just wish.
I will. What do
There's
I
a
wish?
ring of X-ray vision.
Oh, geez, that's what you want to give to Kaz.
No, he's not going to take that at all.
I wish I could punch harder than anyone ever.
Yeah, you're like a fart in the wind right now. You
Did
still
it
got
work?
4 days. You got 3 more days to get through this shit.
Did it work, guys?
Look, let's train for a couple of days and we'll see how you feel. Ooh, I know what I want. I'm going to take the wand of fireballs. That's literally what I'm taking, the wand of fireball.
Okay. Yeah, that was just funny. That was within reach being able to destroy a magical item with a wish spell. Oh, by the way, you guys have probably pissed off a interplanar lich too. So
Well, can't have everything.
looks like I got to start working on some homebrew shit for you.
Oh no, we're going to have more fun together.
Yeah.
How incredibly inconvenient.
Yep. Oh, that was just the craziest way to probably end that. I did not expect that.
Can I just sit there and say that we went from ending making the joke that the epilogue is, guess what? That was just one Strahd, and we're just going to redo the campaign again, to NASA goes to hell, the continuation of the Tiamat arc, and now NASA does fuck all because we don't know enough about your epilogue yet.
Well, we got
NASA.
your
Did you know you could resurrect dinosaurs?
The secrets of dinosaur shit.
You said rare or uncommon?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're doing epilogue, the first thing that Kaziri is going to do back in Baldur's Gate is say hello to his parents, and then drop off the Glamour Weave cloak for them to sell and live off.
Yeah, we can let you all sort out
Yeah.
with your characters over the next little bit of time, and see if you all decide want to get whatever we figure out to do next with these characters.
And then he'll give up his thieving days and take it to the big time. He's going to become a
With his +2 to charisma. Jeez. Some days you get lucky.
Hey, don't blame
funny,
us.
though.
Blame Scott's cards.
I know.
1 in 26.
But
I was kind of hoping Aziz would draw the 2 of spades, so his alignment would change, and then I'd have a giant snake.
who said he wasn't already your friend?
There you go. I don't know.
I think I know what I want.
What's that?
Ring of Spell Storing.
I'm debating something that might not be useful.
5 levels worth of spells.
Yeah, so I can like basically put a 5th level spell into it to hold on to, or I can like cast like Dimension Door into it and like turn it into a Ring of Dimension Door. That way I can, cast spells with more abandonment.
So while wearing this, you can cast any spell stored in it. The spell uses the slot level of the character.
Mhm.
You read that, right?
Yeah, I have to cast a spell into it to have it hold it.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. Have to figure out 1d6 1d6 minus 1 levels of stored spells.
Yeah, so just let me know what's in it and go from there.
Yep.
Could be literally anything.
Watch, it turns out to be something ridiculous. Like catapult again.
Yeah, I mean that would be helpful still even.
So what are you thinking of, Scott?
to get through the whole list, but at the beginning, I'm debating Amulet of Health, the Bag of Beans,
Another chance item.
which could be nothing. Maybe the Boots of Speed.
You know, you guys are kind of assholes, though.
Yeah. Why
How
though?
so this time?
Where's your Taterman at?
Talk about Grundledorf?
I don't know.
Yep.
We left him in the jungle.
You left him at the monastery.
How was I supposed to get from where I
Well,
was
he's
to
at the
there?
monastery. That's not a bad place for him, right?
I will find someone who knows sending, or I'll learn it eventually myself, and I'll tell them where we are.
Look, man, we've got money. We can solve problems.
Yeah, I might make some changes to the money situation depending whether we continue with these characters or not. But we'll just say that it's 5,150 per person.
Okay.
Oh, neat. Until we get into NASA All-Stars, where we all fight each other.
Yeah. Then everybody's poor. It's a battle royale.
What about...
Damn reasonable wishes.
Lawyered.
Yeah, it was just a well-crafted wish.
And a very lucky draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we level
Although
up?
Jay improved my odds, technically, because it went from 1 in 26 to 1 in 25.
Yes. Otherwise,
No, you
he'd
don't
just be
level up.
slightly better at something.
And the card below it was the card that puts me in, like, paralysis in some random interdimensional space where nobody knows where I am and they can only find me with a wish.
Yep.
And then you shuffled again and
I
gave
looked,
us
but
Snake a
no such-
castle.
Hey,
I'm
man.
just saying we could have had our own search for Grog.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to draw... Wally is going to draw a card at some point, too. So this could go really poorly again.
I love it how we were concerned about me drawing cards.
And Wally saves the day. That's what the episode should be called. Wally saves.
I mean, you guys, there's so many Twitch clips that are primed for the picking in this episode.
I can't believe that happened that way.
Yeah.
I was expecting you guys to destroy yourself with that deck.
Mm-hmm.
We very well could have. We still might.
Yeah. Well, everyone, welcome to the NASA After Show. Blasting off. I'm JC. Alongside me are all of the players, and we're still in disbelief over the fact that everything worked out expected.
Your hesitation, Corey, was palpable with that deck showing up. Like, oh fuck.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I'm
Like,
allowed
this just shows you the two different types of D&D players. Hey, here's a really powerful item. Let's make sure nobody. And hey, here's a really powerful item. Gimme.
Well, I tried
Yeah,
to
exactly.
bridge the gap between the two by saying, like, this is what this is, but here it's yours.
Yeah. I don't trust it at all, but it's yours. I'm not gonna stop you.
I guess I should end the stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. Well,
Bye, everybody. See you in Dragon Heist.
see you next week in Waterdeep.